What's up, everybody? Good morning. What's up to the grounds crew? Everybody in the chats today. Hope everybody's doing great. Hold on one sec. Hello.
Hey, Adam. This is Madison Lester from BMW Greenwich. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I was just calling because I know that your M850 lease is ending kind of soon, and because I think it's just got a little under 4 months. I was thinking if you want to do it before, so if you want to look into it, different BMW, what are you thinking about that?
I don't know. I'm gonna work through that in the next month or two.
If you have any questions,
All right.
feel free to reach out to me.
Thanks. All right. Bye. I thought that was a different call. I would have never picked up that marketing call had I known that was a marketing call. All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Lots to explore today. We had a pretty crazy night of baseball last night. Shohei and PCA going head-to-head again. National League MVP race. Both guys had 4-hit games, 2 homer games, and other stuff. Dodgers panic button. We got some Dodger panic button pressing. We got Tucker continuing to struggle. Edwin had another tough one last night. There's some interesting pitching performances to take a look at, so we'll get going today. I hope everybody's good. Definitely want to watch Quinn Mathews. The Mets, yeah, I'm heavily Mets represented right here. I got one of my Mets shirts on. I got my Mets mug going with Mr. Met. But yeah, Mets playing good baseball right now. It's obviously too late, but better than just stinking the rest of the way. That's for sure. Benge has been an absolute stud since the end of May. Rookie of the year, he's going to still have to cover some ground. In my opinion, at least, he's behind J.J. Weatherholt pretty sizably. I think he's got a decent argument for second place right now, although Rumfield's in the mix, Sal Stewart. Pretty good rookie class, I would say, for the top. Yeah, and Kyle Tucker, we are aware of him. Dave Roberts might give them the rest of the regular season and pull the plug before the playoffs like he did with Tanner Scott and Conforto before. I would be shocked if Kyle Tucker's not on the postseason roster. Tell you what, though. Spector mentioned Diaz not that long ago. I still think he's got time, but he's trending that direction, too, of a tough choice. He is. Yeah, we'll do some hitters today. Red Sox Bayo, another time after the opener. A lot of different opinions on the rookies of the year. Sal, Ryan in here in the chat says he bet Benge. I think he's still pretty far back, so we'll see. Do I miss playing? Sometimes, for sure. Sometimes. Brian Baker, I was actually watching this too. We should probably check in on him. I know I've been probably ignoring the Rays for too long. But Benj has been far better than Weatherholt since the end of May. Weatherholt has been mid to pretty bad. Yeah, but it's a full season award, so it's all irrelevant. I will say though, you could finish strong here. Carson could finish strong the last month and a half, and he could have a shot at it. Not for nothing. But as of right now, he's still pretty far behind him in a lot of the categories that I would look at, total value and things like that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up. All right, here we go. Here's the standings. Now, most of the divisions have actually kind of separated themselves a little bit. So let's hop into the divisions, and then we'll go ahead and get into the baseball. All right, Rays are 6 up. They've played really well. Yankees didn't play yesterday. They start a series in Baltimore today. That's a big series for both teams. Baltimore's been hitting where the Yankees have not, so it's a team that can hit, can't pitch, versus a team that can pitch and can't hit. That'll be interesting. Red Sox have an interesting schedule right now. Marte, the whole Ketel Marte situation was crazy. Still don't have any information of that, unfortunately. So we don't know what's going on there, but the Red Sox are playing the Diamondbacks right now. And as of the moment, there are still 4 American League East teams in the postseason, with the Blue Jays just a half game out. Central, White Sox 4.5 up on the Tigers. We'll see what happens there. There are 3 teams chasing the White Sox. Somebody's going to have to get hot. West, Houston, 2 up on the Rangers, 4 up on Seattle. Seattle's now in Milwaukee. I think Seattle's probably in big trouble here. They're 7 under 500. They got a tough schedule. Maybe it's back to the usual, the old suspects here. Houston and Texas duking it out for the AL West. NL East, Braves had a tough game yesterday in Minnesota. Martin Perez had a really bad first inning. Phillies have won 4 in a row, so they're back within 6.5. I don't know if they can get there. They're the only team in that division I think that can get there. Brewers, 4.5 up on the Cubs. Cubs are trying to make it interesting. Again, this is a 2-horse race in this division. And then Dodgers, I think, no matter what, whether they're panicking or not, they're way ahead of the Padres. The wild card is the only thing that matter right now. I think that the divisions, there might be a little flip-flopping, and we'll pay more attention as they get closer, but really it's just about all this wild card mumbo-jumbo. 3 teams tied in the last spot of the wild card right now in the American League. Baltimore, Texas, and Detroit, with the Blue Jays and the Twins half a game back. That is awfully tight. Guardians 1 back, Mariners 2 back. So who knows? Exciting last month, no doubt. In the National League, Phillies in. Padres are ahead of the Diamondbacks, who, again, they're dealing with this Ketel Marte situation. Nobody knows what's happening there. Torey Lovullo talked a little bit after the game last night, seemed emotional about it. I don't know what's happening there. I'm very confused about it. Ketel Marte reportedly seen at a hotel bar last night. I mean, I don't know what's going on there, so we'll reserve judgment. I did ask my contact, and even he said he has no idea what's happening. So if he doesn't know what's happening, then nobody knows what's happening, and eventually it'll all probably come out, but for now we don't know squat, so it's kind of crazy. Miami 3 back, they're trying to stay in it. They had a play yesterday that we talked about a little bit in the Discord. Clayton McCullough got thrown out of the game. I was watching the Phillies broadcast. Even they thought he had every right to be mad. Messing up a foul ball call, placing runners, a whole bunch of stuff. Not great. Cardinals were this close away from sweeping the Reds in the doubleheader last night before Dane Myers clipped Peter Strzelecki to tie the game. They ended up winning in extra innings, and they split the doubleheader. So that was a tough setback for the Cardinals, who can't afford to lose any games that they're supposed to win. So they were right there. And then after that, I find it hard to take the Pirates and the Reds seriously. I think they're really far out. I don't see them rallying at this point. So we'll see what happens. As for the coffee cups, we had a good night last night of baseball. Here's the pitcher winners. Imanaga, even though he gave up the 3-run home run early in the game, the Grichuk, 10 punchies in the showdown between the Chicago teams. Christopher Sanchez had a lot of traffic, but only 1 run in 6 innings. Rhett Lauder pitched an okay game, but got clipped a little bit late versus the Cardinals. Blake Snell in Colorado ended up making the most of it. It looks like 1 run. Quinn Mathews, Nolan McLean totally bailed out by his outfield defense. So a lot of interesting performances yesterday, but the hitting was the big thing. And the top 2 front runners in the MVP in the National League, Shohei and PCA, 4 for 5 each, 2 home runs each, 3 RBIs each. Shohei did score 4 runs. PCA scored 2, but he also added a walk and had the win probability added edge, as his home run was super clutch. It was a walk-off piece to end the game. Bobby Witt Jr., 3 for 4, so nothing but studs at the top. So this might have been 2 nights ago. So 3 studs at the top. 3 of the most important players in the league at the top here, winning the coffee cups from last night. Bobby Witt, 3 for 4, home run. Kobe Mayo hit an absolute insanely far nuke. So a lot of fun stuff to look at in terms of the prospects. It was a Monday, so nobody played. Max Clark is the only prospect still ranked, but he's in the major leagues now, 2 for 5. You know what? How has Max Clark been to start off his career? I haven't really watched him yet. I watched a little bit of his debut, but here's what he's got going on so far. 68 plate appearances to start, 17 hits, hitting 270, 324, 413 slugs, 737 OPS with the 1 home run. Defense has been good. He's above average on that. He's fast. Doesn't swing and miss. Everything else is below average in terms of impact, although he does have above average bat speed. Kind of curious on his swing length real quick while we're here. All right, right around league average swing length and above average bat speed. So I just wanted to check in on that real quick. And then we should hop right into everything that's going on. Maybe we'll start with the Mets game and the 2 throws by Benge, just because they're fun. And there was a interesting question posed last night in the Discord, and I think I want to give credit to it, so I might try to find it in a second. But I think it was a good question, and the question was: is this the fastest throw in the history of the Mets? Pitching, defense, outfielding doesn't matter. Is it the hardest throw in the history of the Mets? Now, it's not the first throw. I think it's the second throw. But here's the first one from Benge here. A little sac fly attempt that actually drops in. Oh, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. It comes right after this. Here's the first one. Ty France, my bad. Ty France flies it out. Benge is going to throw home, cut down the first runner. Watch, it drops in, catches it, winds up. Cronenworth's coming around. Out by a mile. Honestly, no idea why they even sent him here. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. Let's check out the distances on the high home at the moment. I think the next throw is the 103-mile-an-hour throw. I mean, he hadn't come around third yet. He's not that deep. Obviously, you got to know about your thrower arms. He's got an elite arm. He has the ball right here. Cronenworth's not around third yet. So I think this is just a lack of understanding of the arm. But he gets thrown out by a lot in this spot. So, look, I enjoy Carson Benge a lot. I think he'd be right there in the Rookie of the Year if he didn't struggle out of the gate this year. And he still has time to make up for that. Anyway, the defense has been elite. The hitting's gotten better. And that was the first throw. Here is the second throw. Right here, he's going to cut down Manny Machado. So, I mean, it could have easily been a horrible first inning for Nolan McLean, but instead his buddy from Oklahoma State has his back as Machado gets cut down right here. And that was the hardest throw in the history of the Mets, is the thought. I'm wondering. I'm going to go back through our Discord here a little bit. I fell asleep, so a lot of this stuff I didn't even see get posted. Here's our daily, million shot picture of the photos. Here it is. This throw from Carson Benge registered at 103.9. It was actually the first throw. So let me go back and watch the first throw again. 103.9. It's the hardest throw by any outfielder in 2026. You've pushed that to 2025. It's the 5th hardest thrown ball behind Jack Caglianone, Ronald Acuna Jr., and O'Neal Cruz. So is that the fastest throw in the history of the Mets, I guess, is the question. That was also asked somewhere in here yesterday. I don't know. So it was actually, this play was the 103-mile-an-hour throw. 104-mile-an-hour throw, excuse me. No, it was the second. It just said that in the first one. Now I'm totally confused. Whatever the point is a 104-mile-an-hour throw the hardest throw? I think so. I was thinking about this a little much. It'd have to be another outfielder. It can't be a pitcher. No pitcher on the Mets has ever thrown 103 or 104. They probably had a couple 102s. DeGrom, maybe. Montes de Oca. Maybe Edwin. I think Edwin threw a fastball 103. I want to say in 2022 against the Angels. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Angels, Mets. It would have been. No, it would have been It would have been this game, 2022. Remember when Edwin used to just strike every guy out? I think it was in this at bat to Trout. No, that's 99. 99. 101. So 101.6 here.
2-2, 2 outs. Got him.
Yeah, registered at 102. He threw, I remember this was a gangster outing. He threw a ton of pitches in this outing. And then this is 100.7 to end the game. So the answer is no, as he actually strikes out the current Angels manager right here to end the game. I don't think there is. I think that's the fastest throw in the history of the Mets. I think Carson Benge, fastest throw in the history of the Mets. Kind of like that. That stat was regarding fielders. Yes, fielders. But I wonder if that's the fastest one. Cespedes would have been the other guy in my head. Can't think of any other Mets that would have been on this list. Who else had an absolute cannon that the Mets had for all those years? I can't think of any outfielder bazooka cannon guys. So I don't know. Anyway, thought that was an interesting question. According to MLB, third hardest all time. Not sure if the Mets have had one harder. No. It's got to be in the Gold Glove convo. Ewing's throw was great too. Yeah, let's see if we can see Ewing's throw real quick as well from last night's game. As these young guys have really breathed life back into the fan base a little bit. Without these guys, I don't know. I don't know where we'd be. I think this is it. All right, so here's Ewing's throw as well. This could have been another run. So basically 3 runs cut down at home in a 2-inning span is, I don't know if that's ever happened. Really good throw there by Ewing. Good tag by Francisco as well at the plate. That was really nice. Good shift by Alvarez right here. Starts in the line, gets out of the way to get the ball, plants the tag down. Good hustle by Ewing to come in and get that ball. That was important. Xander was rolling around third. So nice play there. Both of these guys are great. That was pretty awesome. And Mets win again. Mets have played really good baseball. Without them, we've been on a side of a bridge. Yeah, I hear you. This ain't true. I don't even know why I clicked on this comment, but this ain't true. All right. What else we got here? 103 is the hardest track throw for the Mets. Yeah. I know he was an elite college pitcher. Well, a good college pitcher. If he was elite, he probably would have still be pitching. He was a good college pitcher. But he threw hard. Obviously, he's got a good arm, Mr. Benge. So that's great. It's just funny that him and McLean were two-way players. And McLean ends up the pitcher, and he had more power at the plate, right? And then Benge ends up the hitter. And maybe he was the better pitcher in college. I don't know. Kind of crazy. Kind of a crazy one. All right, now we got to go look at some Dodger stuff versus the Rockies. We'll go PCA after that, but I want to go look at this Dodger-Rockies game from yesterday because obviously there's the Shohei stuff in there. There's some Blake Snell stuff in there. There's the Edwin stuff in there. There's Muncy, who continues to be an absolute demon. This is just not the guy you want to face. And he's so consistent, Max Muncy. It's starting to get crazy. 2 for 4 last night. Again, 846 OPS again. I feel like I have to click on his profile. You want to talk about consistency. He hits you between 230 and 250 every year, but his on base is between 340 and 370 every year. He's a 350 career on base, 477 career slug, 830 career OPS for Max Muncy. Still doing it at 35 years old. Where would they be without him? With other guys kind of fluctuate, Muncy doesn't seem to really fluctuate that much. He just hits bombs. He's a really tough guy to pitch to because he's got above average chase. He's had that for his whole time with the Dodgers. Look at his chase percentages over his career. 94th percentile, 94th percentile, 98th percentile, 100th percentile, right? Now he's at 69th, but still very good. So this guy's been huge, and he had a big day versus the Rockies yesterday. Game was kind of a crazy game, 11-5 Coors Field type of game. But let's go over to that game real quick and see what we got. First, we'll watch the hitters, and we'll check out on Blake Snell and Edwin. All right, so Rockies, Dodgers. Obviously, the Dodgers are going to try to get fat in Coors this weekend. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, this was a huge home run. This was the Muncy home run. Off of Sugano. This made it 5-0 after this at-bat. And this is a bomb, so it definitely deserves it. And he starts with 2 splitters. This has been the pitch that I underestimated from Sugano this year. I thought he was destined to have basically the season Lorenzen had for the Rockies. But he's done a lot better than that, and a big part of it's been the splitter. The splitter has played at altitude, and it's been his big thing. But, you know, he still hasn't been dominant or anything, but it's helped him survive it until last night. Definitely got touched a little bit by the Dodgers here, trying to make pitches. Trying to get him to chase. It's just a fool's game with Muncy. You're not going to get him to chase very often. That was a good pitch, but he fights it off. Gets him the 3-2. Ryan Helsley had a couple 103s for the Mets. 103.8 max. More fun is Bobby Parnell. Wow, I got great info here from my guy with the Yes Network, who must be watching the show. Thanks, Connor. You're the man. Anyway, there's the bomb real quick. I don't want to bury the lead. Here's an absolute nuke by Muncy. 461. Everything looks more majestic in Coors as it heads out to right center and the big stands out there. And that's, what is that, about 8 rows up in the second deck? Probably only hits it like 106. Nah, I'm mistaken. 110. But that ball was absolutely crushed. Horrible pitch. Sinker right down the middle. Muncy did not miss it, and he knew it. Oh, baby, did he know it. That was fantastic. To me, he's the unsung hero of the Dodgers of the past several years. Him in the regular season and also the postseason, and then Kike in the postseason. Those two guys have really pushed their fortunes forward in kind of an unsung manner. But, you know, they've had a lot of opportunities to maybe let Muncy go, too, but they just keep bringing him back. It seems like it's a great relationship, and it's working really well. All right. As for Shohei, so before we set up the Shohei situation, let me just get us started here on our compare players. I'm not even going to include, I can't include Shohei's pitching into this mix right now. But we'll do Shohei, we'll do Pete, because that's where we're headed, looking at these two guys. But they both went off last night. Shohei was the first one we'll look at. We'll watch all of his at-bats. He gets to face his countryman Sugano here in this match. And this is how it goes. Splitter to open the game. I mentioned that's been Sugano's thing this year is the split. And it actually works this first at-bat. Split, split, swing and miss, ground out. Second at-bat, splitter again. Ball, and then cutter. Actually a pretty good pitch. Very well located, but they have him pulled in the hole here, and this play can't be made. They have him played in a heavy pull shift there. And Shohei ends up benefiting from that. So that's a hit there. That's the first hit of the night. And now third at-bat for Sugano. Another backdoor cutter. Dotted. What a command. And now he's going to go cutter again. And this time he pulls it just a little bit more to the middle, and he unleashes fury to left center, and that ball's gone. And that's the deepest part of the park. That was 428, and it's a wall scraper. How hard he hit that? Got to be 106. 105.5. It's just dumb. This was my field. You know, this was my field for 7 years. And I'll tell you one thing. Coors Field's the best place in the world to hit, but it's for hits. It's not necessarily for home runs, especially to this location, left center. This is big boy shit. That's deep. That's deep. I don't care about the altitude. That's deep. To go oppo on a backdoor cutter that's down, that pulls in, that's just stupid. So, there's the home run. Sugano tried to throw everything down and away from him, splitters and cutters so far. Here's the swing from Shohei. Let's watch it one more time. Unbelievable swing. So that's the first home run. So at this point, he's 2 for 3. Now he's facing Juan Mejia. Yeah, very funny. We already went over that one not that long ago. All right, 1-1. Another fastball coming here. This is the dugout app. You cannot have this. This is a private app. Sorry. Have to watch on show. All right, sweeper coming here. 2-1 count. Kaboom to center. So, home runs in each of these last 2 at-bats. I can't imagine the numbers that a guy like this would put up if he played at Coors as his home field. How hard he hit this one? 105 again? 106, 8 to center. Ball's caught in his own bullpen. This is just a hit me sign on this sweeper that just doesn't probably sweep. Yeah, only -10. Right down the middle. Wham. Just ridiculous. This guy's just something else. We'll watch it one more time.
It's an experience. I got to check it out. He's done it again.
Nice catch out there. Who is that? All excited. Is that Evan Phillips? Who is that? Anyway, nice bomb right there. Next at bat, because he's still got another hit coming. He's facing TJ Shook. Who the hell are you, TJ Shook?
200 plate appearances. Shohei's now moved in front of
1-1. Little short arm piece delivery here. 1-2, and then change up. And that's that Shohei plate coverage, and also the Coors Field. You just can't cover everything situation. Also, he doesn't allow for any lacking out there. You drop the ball, he's gonna take that extra base every time. This is actually a really good pitch, and just something about Shohei, man. He's got such long arms. He's so good at doing this little dink shot into center, and obviously in Coors, you just can't cover the whole field, so you play deep, and every blooper wants to fall. And again, he's just fast enough. He takes advantage of any little misplay. Like, he kicks it into high gear right there. So I like that. 4 for 5 for Shohei. 2 home runs. Fantastic game for him. And we'll go ahead and compare him to PCA after we watch PCA. All right, so also in this game was Snell and Edwin. It did not go good for Edwin. It went pretty good for Snell. So first, let's rewind and watch Blake Snell for a second. We'll get into this PCA thing in a little while. Blake Snell has now made 2 starts off of the IL. This one's always a little bit of a different challenge, playing in Coors, obviously. Your stuff's going to play a little different. Your movement's going to be a little off, but you just got to compete, especially when you're the road player. You don't freak out. You don't change your game. You just go out there and compete. Maybe pare down your mix a little bit for what you can execute. Anyway, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. In this game, let's look at the player breakdown on Blake. 43 fastballs, 24 curveballs, 12 changeups, 11 sliders. Only got 1 whiff on a fastball. And you can see on the metrics here, because of Coors Field, you get a little bit of muted ball flight movement. It's actually impressive he was able to get 16 inches of induced vertical break on average yesterday. You would think that would be even more muted, but he averages 18 during the season. So just shows you everything gets a little diminished when you're at Coors in terms of your ball movement. Interesting, his horizontal movement, it came down a little bit as well. About 1 inch down or 2 inches down on everything. He threw 91% first pitch strikes, though, in this game. But if you want to have one key to pitching well at Coors Field as a starter, that would be the one. You got to dictate every at-bat, and you try to eliminate hard contact. You only give up 1 hard hit. So Snell shoved in this game, and let's watch this outing. All right, leading off for the Rockies is Jake McCarthy versus Mr. Blake Snell. The big thing, if I'm a Dodger fan, is let's see how Blake recovers after this start. Because a lot of times you recover way worse after a game at Coors Field. And because he's had injury issues this year, that would be the thing I would be thinking about the most. It's not so much how he performs in this game, but how he looks in his next game. Anyway, here's the first curveball we see. Coors Field, so this ball just looks like it rolls in there, huh? Just no sharpness to that. That's one of the issues with pitching at Coors Field. You just don't get that air to grab the seams and just make that darting action. Everything seems to be a lot more of a steady movement instead of that sharp action. So 3 curveballs in a row here. Snell narrowly wins the race there, and now he's probably completely out of breath. But that is the first out, and here is Beck. Another curveball there for a strike. Again, it's pretty bland in terms of nastiness, but you still got to throw it. Fastball in, good pitch there, and then curveball. And then the big key with this one, if you know it's not going to move as much, At Coors, it's not about trying to make it any nastier. The air's just not going to cooperate, but what you do is you lower the sights. So if Snell would usually start his curveball this high to get it into the dirt, now he's got to start it this high, if that makes sense. So all you're doing is you're just changing your sights a little bit, and that's what I think Snell does here. Starts the ball a little bit lower, gets it to the chase area. First strikeout of the game.
Almost 20 miles per hour of difference in his 4 pitches.
All right, on one pitch out to Cole Carrig to end the first. Carrick's been pretty impressive for the Rockies as well. He's definitely a part of the future. So really easy first inning for Blake. Second inning here. Strike one, and man, strike one was key all day long. Change up there to Willie Castro. Gets the chase below the zone there, and here comes 96-6. So fastball looks pretty good from Snell. Physically looking good. That's the biggest thing for me with him. You know how good he is at pitching. It's just a matter of, can they have him healthy at the right moment along with their other guys in the postseason, similar to what they did last year. I think that's the biggest thing. Pitching and in good form come October. He's been in great form coming off the IL, though. That first start was dominant, and the second one's very good. 97. Chase is even more valuable at Coors. All the pitching stats that you want to get are even more important at Coors. Everything's just accentuated. Get them to swing out of the zone. You just need that because you're not going to be able to beat them in zone as much. All right, really easy second inning. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the gifts that are getting sent here in the chat. If curveball doesn't break as sharply at Coors as it would elsewhere, what breaking balls play well there? Gyro breaking balls play better at Coors because they're less affected by the thin air. Gravity takes over in a gyro breaking ball, and what I mean by gyro is the ball spins this way, like a bullet spin. This is normal curveball spin, top spin. Top spin requires, Magnus force, and basically the seams grabbing the air and having that help the spin contributes to the sharpness of the break, but if there's less air to grab, that effect is muted. So there's a walk. That pitch was awfully close. Just misses. But when you throw gyro breaking balls like this, bullet spin, they're less affected by the air because it's not requiring the air to grab the seams as much. It's just a tip down and gravity pulls it down. So if you look at some of the best, most effective breaking balls in Coors Field history, German Marquez's slider is probably the best one, or John Gray's slider. Those are probably the best ones. Those are gyro breaking balls, and they look really sharp at Coors, but those are the only ones. They're basically death ball pitches that break straight down. I had a stretch in 2012 where I was throwing a pretty good one, but for the most part, obviously, I threw the sweeper. But, yeah, gyro breaking ball is the best pitch at Coors. Death ball, gyro ball, breaking ball. Anyway, here's Snell, 1 on, and in danger of getting in a little trouble here as he worked a 3-0 count to start off this batter. Damn, my daughter just keeps asking for things on her phone. So annoying. All right, fouled off, and what's he going to get him with? Nothing. Walk. So walk to start off the third. Not where you want to be. Let's see how he works through this inning as the Rockies made him work here at the bottom of the order. Tovar in the 9-hole. He's had a very disappointing year offensively. It's hard to tell when you don't know what you're looking for, but Snell's fastball really looks different here. It's just not as lifty. I mean, it's still pretty good considering Coors. Like, that is 16 inches of vert. But when Snell's right, he's like 18, 19, 20 inches of vert. So the effect of it's just a little bit muted. It also loses about 1 inch of run. So he's doing a good job, but he also throws with 100% spin efficiency because of that high arm slot. So I feel like it affects three-quarter guys even more with their shape because they rely on seam effects. 3 walks to start off this inning. Total disaster. And now we got to lock it back in for the top of the order. McCarthy, slider. Now he's got a gyro breaking ball. It's not pure gyro, but has enough on it to be pretty sharp. So for me, I'd be surprised if he didn't start going more to this type of slider. Good pitch there. Fouled off. 0-2. Going for the slider here. Pulled foul.
Little one back in May.
That's a really good pitch, and they'll trade the out for the run. So it's going to be 1st and 3rd, 1 run in. They are up by 5. All you're trying to do here as a pitcher is minimize damage. That was actually a really good job by McCarthy to make contact there. Contact was big. All right, here's Beck. They go ahead and take second. So that's 2nd and 3rd now. Now you do need a punch out if you're trying to minimize. Or an infield pop-up or something like that. 2-0 count. Here comes a curveball. Actually, 1-1 count. Here comes a curveball. And just what I said you need. You need a shallow fly ball. Teoscar fields it. They can't run on that. Everybody has to hold, and that's as good as a strikeout. And now he's got a shot to get out of it. Carried coming up. Curveball soared. Yeah, DeGrom with the slider, but also the command. You know, the biggest things that matter in cores are command and how good of a gyro pitch you have. If you have a great split that can play or a great slider that can play, but it's the command and also deception plays there as well. So then Snell's able to get through it, spams a couple curveballs to Carrick, gets through it, and minimize the damage. Only 1 run in the inning. Big opportunity lost there for the Dodgers. And now we're out to the 4th. First pitch, changeup, swing and miss. Just want to highlight a couple of my guys here, you know, because I was obviously a Rocky for 7 years. Drew Goodman, the longtime voice of the Rockies. This guy's been there forever. Relentlessly positive human. Spilly, who I love. You might see him on the Apple TV broadcast, but he's much better on Colorado broadcast because they get to be a little bit more of homers. And then Jim Kellogg. This dude's been there forever. Just a great dude. Rocky's lifer. So just wanted to name that real quick. He's one of the big wigs over there, but just a great human being. All right, change up, swing and miss. On to the next. Change up, swing and miss again. Curveball. So what have I seen from Snell here 2nd time through? A lot more off speed and using his fastball as a secondary. Like that. And that was my plan at Coors as well. Try to create some sort of timing issue for the batter, slow him down, throw pitches that I think they might pop up, or do something weak that could be fielded, and then go ahead and expose them with the fastball late once they're slowed down. Same thing here. Started off this at-bat with 2 off-speed pitches, and now goes to the fastball. Nice play by Tommy Edman. Oh, he doesn't make it, though. Can't grab it. Tommy's had a tough day in the field the last couple games we've been watching. All right, Connor Norby. Change up, swing and miss. When did Norby flame out of the Marlins? That happened quick, huh? Change up again, swing and miss. Change up to left, base hit. So Snell got into a bit of trouble here in the 3rd and the 4th inning. Here's Amador. Now they're going to start with a fastball. He had started off speed a couple times in a row, so that was a good job to switch it up there and paint a heater. Here comes another one. Fouled off 0-2. Now try to get him to expand. Good take. 98 up, but only 15 inches of vert. See, again, that's a little bit of the issue is the stuff's just muted just a touch. But then a really good freeze fastball in. That was a good choice, I think, by the Dodgers. They had pitched mostly away. I know they wanted this ball up and in, but just switching sides of the plate was super effective here. And a good pitch. All right, so that's 2 outs, and now Sullivan. Fouled off. Curveball down.
1-1 on Brett Sullivan. 2-1.
Curveball down, and now slider. Yeah, using his fastball as a finishing pitch and basically going off speed more to try to wiggle through these innings. Good job there to wiggle through the 4th. On to the 5th. Here is Tovar. So 9, 1, and 2 in this inning. Change up, fastball up in. Good pitch, and curveball. One thing that Coors Field taught me as a pitcher was how to not rely on being super nasty. You know, I mean, you really got to pitch. Location becomes more important. Fundamentals become more important in terms of strikes and counts. Locations in terms of chase and understanding what you're trying to accomplish. Mixing it up, changing timings, leaning into your deception. All of those things that are there besides being super nasty become more accentuated, and that's kind of your way through it. So oftentimes I feel like when a guy has a great outing at Coors, it starts to play really well everywhere because they realize that they can tap into much more sides of their pitching besides just being nasty. This is a really good slider. Perfect slider on the corner here. Again, the slider, the gyro slider in particular, probably the least affected pitch by the thin air. Nice pitch there. Now he seems to be rolling a little bit with his command. It's amazing how many good pitchers find it mid-outing. I mean, that's a really good pitch there as well. Here's another fastball. It's off the plate away. Another fastball here. That's dotted. And then another fastball up in target. See if he gets it there. And he does. Perfect spot. Jams him just enough to get the fly out. Tucker catches this one to end the 5th, and now 6th inning. First pitch up and in, dotted. Tommy Edman, circus play. Damn, Tommy. I mean, he is playing up the middle, but the throw, he just kind of grenade launches that thing. Hell of a play. Do we get a good center field angle on this, maybe? There's Tommy. Nice play. Let's watch it one more time on the broadcast. Let's get past Banana Boy. Damn, that was sick. All right, 1 out in the 6th. Next up. Thanks, babe. Thank you. When is Blake Snell's next scheduled start? I mean, I guess it's got to be 5 or 6 days. I haven't looked into that yet. Change up down 2-1. Change up again to Castro. And there's another pop up the chute. That's 2 outs in the 6th. And then Snell will end his outing here. He gets to face Rumfield here to end it. Rumfield's the other one for the Rookie of the Year conversation that we didn't include yesterday. But he's had a good year, too. 2.8 WAR. I believe he's hit actually just as good on the road. He's not going to win it because he's a Rocky, obviously, but he's in the convo as well, along with Weatherholt, Sal, and Benge. Wow, look at Mookie up the middle. So 2 unbelievable defensive plays from the Dodgers towards the end of this outing. Look at Mookie from the knees with the play. That was sweet. Did we get the center field angle on that one? Did you see Brett's comment? Let me see. No, I didn't see Brett's comment. Hi, Dad. Accept my purchases. All right, fine. I'll accept the purchases. How come you can't accept the purchases? You're one of the parents. Hold on. All right, I accepted a few. Anyway, that was Blake Snell's outing. He pitched well. He's pitched good since we're coming back. Don't worry, we're still going to watch Edwin. But he's pitched good since he's come back. He's been very good. Stuff looks good. Command looks good. I'm just looking out a little bit for how he recovers coming off of the Coors start, you know. Especially today, his first recovery day, they're still there. Actually, his first 2 recovery days, they're still there. So he's very likely to be pretty sore tomorrow or the next day. Probably more sore than he would typically be. And so if they could build in an extra day, that would be great. Because again, the health is the only thing that matters with a guy like this. I mean, you see the expected numbers. He's throwing the ball great since coming off the IL. 3 starts, 3.6 ERA, 15 innings, 20 strikeouts. Everything looks good. Velocity, breaking balls, everything. So let's just monitor how he looks his next start. I think that would be the biggest thing if you're a Dodger fan. All right. Also in this game, Edwin pitched. They've been trying to get him back on track. It's been a really bumpy ride. His last outing, he hit 2 batters and hit a batter, walked 2 batters, had bases loaded. They were about to basically lose the game, but then he was able to wiggle out thanks to some good defense from Tommy Edman. That was against the Brewers on The 14th, I remember because I was listening to Dodger radio driving back from Long Island that night, and it was getting spicy. But anyway, he did pitch yesterday in Coors. He didn't have any walks, which is like great, but like give up 4 hits. So 4 hits and 3 runs, and it's just getting to the point where his confidence has to be down bad. So let's see what it looked like in this inning for Edwin.
11-2, the Dodgers up, and Willie Castro is at the plate facing another guy who's been struggling.
Thanks for the gifts. Thanks for the gifts.
Since he's come back, it's been a rough ride for Edwin Diaz.
So his fastball is going to be really poor metric. Again, he's got a low arm slide, actually the lowest of his career right now. So he's relying a lot on seam effects for all of his movement and stuff. He's got 9 vert on this fastball. 9 vert. I mean, this ball looks like it's doing nothing on the way to the plate, and that's kind of the issue. You know, so I mean, they're going to be all over everything, hitting it hard, more than likely on that fastball. It's just not a good fastball at Coors Field at the moment. 110 off the bat, leadoff hit from Willie Castro. That's Puerto Rican on Puerto Rican crime. Now we got Rumfield. Fastball strike. I mean, the velocity's there. If I were him, I would have spammed slider this entire outing. But let's see what happens. He tries to go to it here, 0-2, and he's going to hit him. Oh, worst case scenario right there. 0-2 hits him in the back foot. So a ground ball hit, even though it was hit hard, and then a back foot hit by pitch. First pitch fastball, really good swing at that one. Paz is going to catch that. They tag, so it's going to be first and third. Here's Amador. That's a good heater right there. That had good plane to it. And then another heater here. This is 98.6, so he's trying to bring the thunder here. I actually think that was a pretty good pitch. That was not hit that hard. 81.2 could have easily been a game-ending double play. Instead, it goes up the middle. So another hit. All right, here's Sullivan. Ball. Ball, foul ball. I don't think I think he looks healthy, but like his stuff seems a tick down. A tick or two down from what we're used to seeing, and boy, is his batted ball look awful. Awful. Every ball in play is a freaking hit for this guy right now. He's given up 3 balls that were either could have been out of fielder but weren't. They've been hit at varying speeds, but still. All right, Tovar. But you just wonder at what point. I mean, he's probably already there, where the confidence it cannot be there. There's no way your confidence can be there. You don't care about bad luck at a certain point. You're just like, every time I go out there, is this going to happen again to me? And I feel like that's kind of where Sugar's at right now. Pulls a couple sliders, go to 3-1. I mean, they try to pitch him here with a 1,000,000-run lead to try to work through it, but it's just tough. Slider middle, another slider. So that's what I would have done here. I mean, I don't blame him for going all sliders here. This is going to be a sac fly. And then who we got here? Veen. Fastball pulled in. This one's 93. This is a weird fastball from Edwin. And it's absolutely hammered. Just not fooling anybody with the heater. 111 off the bat there. And then he gets a 1-pitch out to end the game on a slider. So, I mean, at some point he should just start spamming sliders, I think. I know he doesn't have any command right now. But his fastball is not fooling anybody. He's also getting really bad luck. But I just wonder how it affects his mental. You still see a useful pitcher in there. I really believe it. It's just like right now, his mentality is in bad spot. Bad spot. It can't possibly be in a good spot. So if he's with the Mets, they've already taken the job from him. At least he gets to keep working through it. They gotta keep letting him pitch. You know what I mean? But right now, I mean, the hardship is stacking up, and it just becomes hard to sleep at night. Everybody's having a good time except for you. He's giving up runs at a clip he's never given up runs before. So he needs a sustained streak. He needs like 5 good games in a row to get himself going. He's just not getting that right now. If you're Edwin's teammate during the stretch, are you talking to him about it or acting like business as usual when you're talking? I mean, I'm assuming he wants to talk about it. If I was in his shoes, I would want to talk to my friends about it. What do you got for me? Do I stay the course? What do I change up to? You don't want to just let it go because your imagination and your brain can be a dangerous place, as we all know. So you probably try to talk to him about it and just check in with him. Make sure he's good. I mean, I played with him when he struggled. I remember in 24, he gave up a big grand slam to Josh Bell and was hurting pretty bad after the game in Miami. You know, we all talked to him. We all told him, dude, you're one of the nastiest pitchers in the whole world. Just keep going. You'll be fine. Keep believing in yourself. But it's hard. You know, those words start to fall flat when it's like what is it now? Like 6 out of his last 8 games have gone the way he hasn't wanted. That's tough. That's tough. Why do you think Edwin is struggling this season? You think it's a mechanical issue or dealing with an arm injury? His stuff is a tick down. Command's not there yet because he's not sharp. The injury stuff, I think, really hurt his ability to command the baseball when he came back. I also think his usage is messed up. I think he should be throwing more sliders. I think he's got to tip the scale in slider. Slider has to become, especially with the stuff being down, I think slider has to take the front seat. Fastball has to take the back seat. That's my personal opinion, but we'll see. All right, so let's see what we got here. I don't think he's dealing with either issue. I think his mechanics are fine. Maybe his arm slot's a little low, and they'd like to get him a little bit more on top of the ball, but he's close mechanically. I just think his stuff's down a tick, and that's a big issue. Obviously, also, you see every ball that's getting hit is a hit. Everything. You know, whether it's on the ground, it's never at a fielder. So there's also some really bad luck there involved. It's hard. I know that it's hard for fans to accept that, but that's just true. His expected batting average is no way is the same as his real batting average. Who fell off harder of the Diaz brothers? Clearly his brother. His brother had a complete smoke and mirrors season that year with Cincy and never thought he was very good, never thought he could throw strikes, and that ended up bearing out. Edwin's different. Edwin's the real dude. If you're used to being a late inning, high leverage dude, but moving to middle relief mess with your head, I mean, a little, but you got to be wanting that right now. Like, there's no way you want to go out there with all the pressure on you. You want to have a couple of easier, situations to pitch through and then get put back in. Typically, though, the guys that are great at the end of the game, they thrive off the pressure. So there's a little bit of a risk. But at the same time, what are you supposed to do? Just keep pitching him with the game on the line and you can't get anybody out? It's tough. If you're the manager, you got to figure that out. Can he pitch on a different side of the rubber in the middle? I mean, maybe that's an adjustment. Maybe something small like that. Maybe something small like that. So we already did Logan Henderson. That's all on the stuff from yesterday. Henderson from yesterday. We looked at Noah Cameron yesterday. You can go back on my YouTube channel and check out all the stuff we did from that. So pretty crazy, man. Pretty tough sledding for Edwin right now. I don't know what to say about it. I'm sure his BABIP is crazy, right? What's Edwin's current batting average on balls in play? I gotta wonder. Negative 1.4 WAR on the season. 2-2 with an 11.85 ERA and 13.2 innings. Jesus. BABIP right now is 500 on the season. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, two things are true at the same time. Probably the worst he's ever pitched, but also the most unlucky he's ever gotten. Even if it's poor contact, it shouldn't be 500. It could be maybe 350, 380, something like that. 500's insane. 500 batting average on balls in play. To me, that's a little insane. Although there's also no denying that the exit velo's up as well, too. 92.5. K percentage has dropped off a cliff. Walk percentage isn't good. Line drive percentage is up. Ground ball percentage is down. So it's a combination of both. It's sort of like Devin Williams early in the year last year. Pitching bad, but also getting really unlucky. All right, so now that we've finished... Oh, wait, let's watch Kyle Tucker drop a fly ball. Who was pitching for that? Here. Now, this is the other guy that's having just the most god-awful season right now and just a miserable season. And I don't know what's going on. Really good player. I like him a lot. But just scuffling, man, as he drops that fly ball right there. And he's just having no fun. He went 0 for the whole homestand. He's not hitting. Everybody's on him. All of a sudden, the eyeballs are on him.
Tucker.
And he's dropping fly balls. I just don't get what's happening with Kyle Tucker. I have a hard time understanding that. It's one of the better players I've seen over the past several years, and it's just not working right now. I guess there's still time. I mean, he's still way too good to be this bad. 692 OPS, 11 home runs on the year, hitting 230. I mean, this is a career 267 hitter with an 842 OPS. The defense falling off a cliff. -8 outs above average. But, I don't know, man. Been a tough go for him. And if you're a Dodger fan, you just got to hope that he gets it going. Or, there's going to be a lot of questions asked come playoff time. He's really only hitting fastballs this year. Struggling hard on all off-speed. Just a weird year. Hard to see it coming. Chase rate's still good. Whiff rate's fine. K percentage fine. Walk percentage fine. Bat speed has dropped. Hard hits fallen off a cliff the last 2 years. Outfield defense has completely deteriorated since 2022. I don't know what's going on there. I'm finding that to be very confusing. Very confusing. All right, let me get in the chat here and then we'll go to PCA. Yeah, Quinn Mathews, we're going to get him next. We're going to get him after PCA. I got you. Dude has the yips straight up. It's like also Trey Turner at short right now. There's some sort of yips going on. Hey, man, thanks. Thanks for not liking me. Oh, man. I love Aaron. He's a friend of mine, too. I mean, he's been scuffling this year. I'm happy he got out of Sacramento. Got back to a place he's happy in Chicago. Edwin going all the way to the right side of the mound and maximize the angle with that arm slide would be interesting if he can do it. Yeah, they might look to do something simple like that. It's pretty hard to change mechanics or anything else during the season. I think the number one quick fixes for Edwin is spamming slider, maybe shifting on the rubber a little bit, and just hoping that the batted ball luck cleans up a little bit, Tucker's home road splits, they are awful. Awful this season at home. I don't get this one either. Dodger Stadium's become a pretty good place to hit. But this is pretty damning right now. This is home and away. On the road, he's got an 822 OPS. He's hitting 269, 822 OPS on the season. At home, he's batting 189 with 2 home runs and a 558 OPS. I just don't understand that. Is that like a pressure thing? Is that just a weird coincidence thing? But he's got a 55 OPS plus at home. I don't know what's going on there. That's about as crazy as a split as I've ever seen. What's he looking like first half, second half? He's been way worse in the second half. 178 in the second half, 605 OPS. It's crazy. He has under a 700 OPS his last 3 months, and they're getting worse. So unless he completely turns it around, this is going to be one of the all-time most disappointing free agent seasons. I mean, he's making like 100. It's costing the Dodgers like over $100 million to employ him this year. So really insane. Really, really insane. I don't really know what to say about that. At least Tucker has a home run at Dodger Stadium this year. I know you're talking about Vlad here, but it's crazy. He has a newborn. Maybe that's it. Just not sleeping well at home. That could be it. I mean, that's crazy as it sounds. That's a pretty good comment there. I remember my daughter when she was between 0 and 2. Those first couple years in Denver, I mean, shit, she'd be waking up at like 4:30, 5 in the morning. You're home late, you can't sleep already, so yeah, your sleep gets cut into. I would sleep a lot, but as a position player, you have a little bit more responsibilities pregame. Maybe he needs to get on the nap train. Maybe that could be a big thing. Adam, wouldn't you think Dodgers players don't have as much pressure because they're surrounded by stars? In some aspects, yes, I agree with this take, but in other aspects, no, just because you are living up to you have to live up to your contract a little bit, so the expectations on you are still high. It's hard to lay in the weeds making $60 million. But yes, surrounded by stars, you would think you wouldn't have to pick it up. And I think for the most part, he did lay in the weeds the first month. First half, people weren't as going crazy about it. And then all of a sudden, the attention's definitely turned towards him. You know, the team starts losing, they're going to start looking at the people who aren't performing and are making a lot of money. It wasn't quite as insane last year, but still bad. 747 home, 923 road when he was with the Cubs. Good point. Appreciate that. Spotlight on you in LA. I sold my Ohtani rookie autograph for $1K and now it's worth $150K. Yikes. All right, so let's go into PCA now. We're about to get into that player comp here in a minute, but PCA also had a 4-for-5 day yesterday. This was Cubbies White Sox in the Battle of Chicago. Also, want to watch Hagen Smith's outing. I know he gets walked off. But PCA 4-for-5 with a walk. This is the battle for NL MVP. I don't think there are any other candidates. If there are, somebody enlighten me. First at-bat of the game. Home run on the first pitch of the game off of Castillo. First pitch, four-seam down in, ready to ambush. Smashes it out to right. And it's one of the things I love about having an elite guy with pop in the leadoff spot who can ambush. It just sets the tone for the game, makes that first pitch very questionable, and that's what happened here. 101.2, 1-0 Cubbies as we begin the game. Castillo's just like, I'm going to throw strike one. PCA says, I'm not going to allow that. So great job by him hunting the fastball, and kaboom, that's the first home run for him. And it does seem like he answers back every time that Shohei does anything. He loves the ball down, even below the zone. So that's the first at-bat, home run to right. Second at-bat, first pitch, changeup below zone, stays on it, flicks it into right for a hit. Braden Montgomery doesn't really go for that. Base hit. So aggressive on the first two pitches he sees. This was actually good contact for the pitcher to induce, but it was a little bit too soft. He kept the launch angle down just enough and blooped it in for a hit. PCA just loves the ball down. So 2 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 home run, 1 double. Only 2 pitches seen. Third at-bat versus Castillo. First pitch changeup yanked foul. Another changeup coming here. So he swung at each of the first 4 pitches of the game he's seen. And now he's down 0-2. Non-competitive fastball up. Here comes a front door sinker attempt. Misses with that. And then he is going to get him with the front door sinker. So really good pitching here by Castillo. That was a perfect pitch right there. Front door paint. Man, look how late this ball comes back. It's a ball all the way there, and then it sneaks back to the corner. Great pitch by Castillo here. So gets him the 3rd time. And now he's facing Tyler Schweitzer, left on left here. Slider down ball. Slider away. Sinker in, take, and a walk. So 4-pitch walk, left on left. This is the other part of his game that's really cleaned up. Just keeping the bat on his shoulder when it makes sense. So 2 for 3 with a walk coming into at-bat number 4, and Mr. Richards, who's going to throw you a ton of basically slow airbenders. That's what he's got. 2-0 count. Here is a changeup. Slow airbender. Nasty. Gets the check swing. Now here's a fastball fouled off. And then a changeup for a hit. Let's see where this pitch gets in the zone, if it's another one down. Off away, goes with it. Man, he's become a really well-rounded hitter. Great job by Antonacci to cut that ball off. PCA is too fast. But if he doesn't cut it off, that's a triple, huh? I love the fact that he went with this pitch. You know, you think about how he pulled those first 2 early in the game, but not this one. Stays on it to left center. It's just great hitting. And he's fast as hell. Check out the hustle right here. Nice hustle. So home run, single, double, walk, heads us into the final at-bat of the game, and Mr. Hagen Smith. We'll watch this whole outing in a second. But PCA is gonna hunt a slider, I believe, this whole at-bat in the right spot, and he's gonna kaboom him out to right for the walk-off home run here in the 10th. Smith comes through with a 94-8 there, and then it is a slider. PCA's hunting it. I think that's what he's doing all year. Just gotten really good at hunting pitches. And he calls game right there. Great job. Backspins the shit out of that slider. What do you hit that? 103? Only 98.7, but perfect backspin at 30 degrees for the victory. And he does it again. Clutch. I mean, MVP, chance, W flag, the whole thing. The kids are having a movie season. Unbelievable. How do you know you hit it? It didn't even look like he hit it that hard. Which he did it, only 98.7, but how do you know off the bat, you know? He's got crazy pop for his size. He really does. And that's the game. All right, let's see it from first base side. All right, so that's it. PCA, great day. 4 for 5 with a walk-off home run. So he actually outdid Shohei in that game. Now, there's a lot more to consider than just the offensive numbers. But here is the current showdown between these two guys offensively. In terms of batting run value, PCA is actually slightly edging Shohei, 99th percentile to 97th. And he's edging him by a lot in base running and obviously fielding. There's no fielding for Shohei, so that's basically his pitching numbers you have to add on top of this, which we have to conceptualize. Now, he hasn't pitched a lot in a while, but when he did pitch, he was elite this year. The thing that PCA has going for him now that I think has probably put him ahead of Shohei is that the offense past Shohei and the defense sort of makes up for the run value in terms of the pitching. I think it's pretty close. If Shohei were to come back in September with a couple of great starts and continue to hit or maybe go to another level hitting, I think he could still win MVP. And I think in a normal year, he wins MVP every year. But I think PCA has done enough to be right there. I mean, this is pretty close, guys. I know this is going to be a very polarizing vote and a lot of people are going to have disagreements on it. But at the moment, right now, I would probably put Pete ahead of Shohei. I know that that's pretty hard to do, but I would put him ahead. I mean, he's number one defender in the game. And whenever you have these three metrics right here, he's 97th percentile or better in every aspect of the game he can control. It's hard to vote against him. It really is. Just really is. Let's go look at the WAR situation. Ohtani at 6.7 on Baseball Reference WAR. What's Pete at right now? 7.7. So he's edging him in here. What do they got in Fangraphs? They got Ohtani at You got Ohtani at 4 WAR, but I believe this is just offense, so I think you might have to add it up. 4 on offense plus 3 on defense. That puts him at 7 on Fangraphs. And then Pete, they got him at 8.2 on Fangraphs. So both WAR calculations have PCA ahead of Shohei. Obviously, there's more to it than just WAR. And I think Shohei's value is even higher. I think to me, Shohei's value is even higher than his WAR total because he changes the roster construction of your team. Allows you to basically carry another pitcher while he's pitching. That hasn't been the case as much in the last couple months when he's not pitching. So I usually give him even a higher bonus for that. But I have to say, I'd probably vote for PCA right now. I mean, he's been just having a legendary season for the Cubs, and he's doing it on both sides of the ball. So I think it's pretty close, man. I think it's pretty close. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat, and then we'll move on to probably Quinn Mathews next. Seems like Shohei and PCA are just edging each other back and forth depending on where you look. PCA gained 0.4 FWAR after last night. Comparing pitcher outs to fielders putouts is a complete nonsense basis for comparison. Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. Shohei also has to battle voter fatigue. I agree. There is a little voter fatigue. I don't like that concept, though. To me, it's like if you're the guy to win the MVP, you should win it. It's like LeBron, and there's been years where sometimes we just, you look back 10 years and you're like, what were we doing? I think we might have a couple of those with Shohei, but I mean, look at the years he hasn't won it. Judge hit the 62 home runs, and then PCA's having this season where really it's a perfect storm of him having this year and Shohei not pitching. So, you can't have the app, unfortunately. It's the Dugout app. It's the one that they have in the dugout for the players to use. It's a private app. Maybe one day it'll be public. All right. And the Mets just traded PCA for 40 games of Javi Baez. It's one of the all-time worst trades I can think of. Horrible trade. I mean, the Mets were going nowhere that year, in my opinion. PCA more valuable to his team, Jaden says in the chat. It's been quite the year for Pete Armstrong, as I like to refer him, Billy Haywood's stepbrother. Okay? It shouldn't be possible that he just woke up one day and decided to stop whiffing and chasing. It's incredible. We talked about it last year and in the offseason coming into the year. If he could just mitigate his chase, he could be an MVP, and that's what he's done, and then some. It's actually historic how much he's mitigated his chase. I'm still looking here through the chat. Shohei needs to be back on the mound to have a chance to keep up. That's kind of my opinion right now. Sporer, we appreciate you and your Fangraphs contributions. It's probably PCA, but I agree with you. But if Shohei comes back on the mound, it's a closer call. I'd be curious when he comes back. I was watching, this reminds me of something real quick. Let me go and try to pull something up on the YouTube. Do I have the YouTube app right now? Shit, I'm going to have to download that. All right, give me a second here. Got to re-download the YouTube app here. Because there's a guy that, I don't know if you're a Dodger fan or if you're just a baseball kid and you want to like, see, to me, it's way more, we already see sort of what these dudes do. Hold on. We already sort of see what these guys do. Like on the field, obviously, all their games are televised, but I like to watch what they do in their training. I think that's like one of the coolest things ever. Well, I just got to load back into YouTube here. Got to do the old. Everything's a damn barcode and a two-factor authentication, yada, yada, yada. Use passkey, blah, blah, blah. But this account, I would highly recommend it because this guy basically stalks the Japanese players on the Dodgers. And I find him to be very... hold on one sec. What is happening? Yeah, this guy, Shinsuke Handyman. If you go to his channel, he's got 188,000 subs, 14,000 videos. He's taking video during games, pre-games. But I thought his last, he's had a couple, like this is something I was watching the other day. And literally, he's just watching Shohei play catch and do drills and stuff in Coors. And it's very fascinating, kind of the stuff that he thinks about and the stuff that he works on. So I would encourage anybody that wants to learn a little bit about what these guys do to get prepared for battle. I think this is one of the funnest things to look at. This is a drill that Shohei was doing yesterday that I was watching. So clearly he's coming back to pitching soon. This is not the one I was talking about. It's more here where he does like a little rocker step within his throwing. Let's see if I can find it. There's also some really good Roki Sasaki stuff from a couple days ago throwing in Dodger Stadium and some Yamamoto throwing the javelin stuff. So I love watching this stuff. Oh yeah, step back throws. That's one of his drills. And there's this drill too. Gotta watch the Handyman. I watch the Handyman all the time where he stops and then he rocker steps and throws. So anyway, I would encourage people to go watch that. There's so much good Yamamoto, Sasaki content, Shohei content on there, and you get to kind of see what they do off the field. Anyway, he's definitely coming back to pitch. It's just a matter of when, and that matters a lot for this MVP race. So I don't think there's anybody else in the mix. I would argue Mizorowski's probably third right now in the National League for me. Curious what the leaders are on Fangraphs in terms of WAR offensive players. Let's see. Batting leaders. PCA. Otto Lopez is actually second in the National League offensive, 4.5 WAR, although he's really dropped off in the second half. Weatherholt would be third. They're nowhere close to PCA, so it's PCA or Shohei for sure. 100%, no doubt about it. All right. Also pitched in this game was rookie Hagen Smith. Oh, that was it. It was only 4 freaking pitches. Damn it. I wanted to see if there was more stuff on Hagen Smith. I know he's pitched a few games. He had a walk issue coming up, but the White Sox decided to bring him up and use him mostly out of the pen. All out of the pen so far because they need some nastiness in the picture. That was the first time he gave up anything yesterday, right? 4 2/3, 7 strikeouts. Kind of throws with that really low slot from the left side. Has some good velocity. Doesn't throw strikes, though. 28.6 walk percentage so far. At this level. Minor leagues, I think it was even worse. Yeah, 56 walks in 75 innings before being called up this year in Double-A. And then even in Triple-A, he was a little better. And I think that's why they called him up. But it was still bad. 40 walks in 58 innings. So on the season, I mean, just yikes. Yikes level stuff on the season. I guess that's career. Last year, 56 walks. This year, 40 in 58 innings. It's crazy he got called up doing that. But anyway, I wanted to mention him. All right, we're going to go on to Quinn Mathews next. He pitched yesterday for the Cardinals. I haven't really watched him yet. This guy led the minor leagues in strikeouts a couple years ago and then completely lost it. Developed the yips, but he's got his stuff back. He still has a horrible walk problem. He had a horrible walk problem in the minors, but he's an interesting guy to watch. So let's get into his game from yesterday, which was versus the Reds. This was the second game of the doubleheader, I believe. No, this was the first game of the doubleheader. Mathews ends up going 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, gave up a home run on 95 pitches. Here's the breakdown. 45 fastballs, 22 changeups, which is one of his signature pitches. He throws a 4-seam changeup. We'll get into that when we watch him. 15 sliders, 13 curveballs, decent amount of whiff. Did not throw a lot of first pitch strikes. Struggles with command, basically. But let's check out Quinn Mathews here. Reds and Cardinals. Mathews, and he obviously used way too many pitches. But he did punch out the side in the first. So here he is, Quinn Mathews. First time looking at him on Baseball and Coffee. That's 93 miles an hour, 16 inches of vert. He's got a low release height for his arm angle, which is a little bit of a weird thing. But other than that, most of his metrics are kind of mid. But I think there's some deception there a little bit. He's got a weird body type, as you can kind of see. Looks like it's short arms to me. A little bit of a rock and roll delivery. But there's something there because he obviously led the minors in strikeouts the one year, which you don't do by accident. As there's a high slider to strike out Ellie De La Cruz, first batter. All right, 4-seam up ball.
Most in the majors. Outer edge strike.
Yeah, Shinsuke Handyman. Shinsuke Handyman, you're going to need that.
Now granted, free.
All right, 1-2 count here. This is 95-4, so showing pretty good velo here as he battles Sal Stewart. He's going to punch him out with a fastball up, I would think. Off the plate away, swing through. So strikeout to start the game. And I think he strikes out the third guy. I think he goes side punch in the first here. Curveball strike.
This is the highest he's hit all year, batting third. He did it once last year, came in early June against with half of his.
The Cardinals striped socks. You know, in the minors, you're required to wear them up until AAA, or at least you were when I was there. Kind of a good look. I'm more of a pants down type of guy, but I do admit the Cardinal high sock look is good. So he does destroy the side on the first inning. High slider, and then 2 up and away fastballs. Let's check out Quinn Mathews' delivery from the side. Of course, Colin Cowgill wants to be right in the damn way. Can you move, bro? This guy's just, you got to be kidding me, dude. You're not going to move? Move. All right, well, we'll wait for a moment where there's a guy on base and maybe he's not in the way. All right, second inning. Eugenio Suarez, chopped foul. Game 2 was a better game. Dane Myers broke the Cardinals' hearts with that home run in the 9th. But, yeah, looks straight out of 05 with the Sox in the windup. Here's that changeup. We talked about it a minute, but it bears you know, a little bit more intrigue. So a couple things stand out with this changeup. One, it's a 4-seam orientation, so it's supposed to look like the fastball, but then not be the fastball. Only 6 vert. Typically, he even has more vert than that. It's a very floaty changeup, but the idea is that it's got huge speed separation, so you think you're getting a fastball and you're not. 81.8 off of his 93 to 95. That's a big difference. He sells it really well. That's the magic trick here, and that's how he gets Suarez. So he Ks the first 4 batters of the game. Maybe Cowgill's in the way. Even with him in the way, you can kind of see that he sells this pitch really well. The tempo of his delivery and the way he kind of gets into his release reinforces that he's trying to throw the ball hard, and then it's a really slow changeup. Yeah, Colin Cowgill needs to beat it. There's that changeup to Myers there, swings through. He does. You know, his brother, or maybe it was him, but one of the Cowgills played at James Madison. It was on the team that I no-hit in college. So maybe this is payback.
He got right back on track.
25 years later, or whatever it is. All right, 3-2 count. Dane Myers chopped foul, and here's the first hit. So punches the first 4 batters of the game. Then he's going to give a hit up here. That's a good swing. Just stayed flat on that 4-seam up. The 4-seam seems to play pretty well at the top, despite the mid-metric, even for his arm angle. Oh, Toglia. I haven't seen you since you were on the Rockies. 2-0 count. How was it pitching to Yadier Molina? So, an honor, absolute honor. I will say, though, I probably had one of the worst experiences ever pitching to Yadi just because I only got a couple games with him, and he never really got to learn my style. One of the things that I always lamented was those first couple games I pitched in the big leagues, those starts, we didn't throw nearly enough sliders. He called a lot of splitters and a lot of sinkers, and I felt like I got a little predictable in throwing my 2 of my not best pitches, and I just didn't throw enough sliders. There's a walk. That's been his biggest issue. So, unfortunately, we never really got to make beautiful music together, but it's still an honor to throw to Yadi, and obviously he shuts down the running game. He's got a certain aura back there. He gives a very good presentation. Great guy to talk to, knows the game better than anyone. But yeah, we never got rolling together, which kind of sucks. Old school change, 100%, the 4-seam changeup. All right, here's another walk. So he starts the game with 4 strikeouts and then gives up a hit and 2 walks. So you see a little bit of the Jekyll and Hyde nature of the Quinn Mathews experience. All right, here is Noelvi Marte. Fastball up, swing through. Yadi with ABS would be insane. I agree. You know what's crazy is he actually didn't rank as high on framing as you would have thought. But I think with the ABS, he would have known the zone incredibly well, and he would have been sick. Yadi will be a manager, I believe, at some point. Him and Albert, both. And I actually think there's a chance of like 5 or 6 guys who were teammates on one team becoming managers. Skip Schumacher, Yadi, Albert, Descalzo. I think all of those guys could end up as managers, and there's probably some people I'm leaving out, and they were all on the same Cardinals team. Isn't that crazy? Gets very fortunate here with the popped-up slider. Burleson's going to come catch that, and then he's going to try to get out of this inning. Luckily, he has Ke'Bryan Hayes up there, who has, I believe, one of the worst batting lines in the history of baseball right now. Have you ever seen the stat on Yadi where it was like stolen base attempts versus teams over like a 15-year period? And the Cardinals had like less than half attempts because of Yadi. So, just a legend of the game. One of the people I wanted to impress the most, and I remember I pitched a really good game with him catching in spring training once against the Nationals in Brevard, and he finally was like impressed with me, and like that, like I like felt like a little kid, like Oh my God, Yachty's impressed me. So he gets out of this inning where he had the 2 walks and the hit with a changeup rollover from Key Bryan. So kind of a shaky second inning, but makes it work, and we're back to the top of the order. Jay as well. Jay doesn't really want to be manager. I think Jay wants to be bench coach for Descalzo when Descalzo gets that job. But he's another one who's doing a great job as well. So that's a 5th guy, you know, potentially really good coaching tree coming out of that. And don't forget, if Matt Carpenter wants to coach at some point, he might be a good coach as well. I don't see Waino ever doing it, but, you know. He didn't. He never, like, led the league in framing those years. I remember looking at the stats. Holy shit, what a changeup to Ellie right here. This is nasty. Oh my God, he fell over trying to swing at this changeup. So here's the advantage of throwing the traditional old school changeup. It's not a movement pitch. It's a deception pitch in terms of like speed. So Ellie fully thinks he's swinging at a fastball here. I'm sorry, Ellie, but we need to watch you from the side. Just full humiliation punch out. All right, 1 out in the 3rd. Here is Sal Stewart. Slider down, fastball in play out.
A little bit more under control. Let the ball get to you.
Yachty like Darrell Rivas, who never got interceptions because they just stopped throwing his way. 100%. The whole league just stopped running. There was a year that Chris Carpenter threw like 200 innings and only had like 2 steal attempts the whole year. And he said he only picked off less than 10 times. So, that's ridiculous. That's just Yachty. If you're quick to the plate, then that's just Yachty. Oh, that's true. Matt Holliday was also actually hired as bench coach for the Cardinals, and then reneged that. To Ayo's point, for Yachty's 2008 to 13 defensive peak, he was 4th in framing to McCann, Lucroy, and his brother Jose. 4th is still great. I think we just expected to be first by a mile. That is my point. That is my point. You would have thought he would have been first by a mile during that stretch, and he wasn't. But he was first in the mile by shutting down the by the running game. I mean, he's still the best defensive catcher, I think. I mean, it's hard to say ever, but right there, him, Pudge, Johnny Bench, those types of guys. Anyway, there's another walk from Quinn Mathews, but pretty crazy. Ellie swung conservatively 20 minutes before the pitch hit the glove.
Really good pitching for all last year or this.
Yeah, come over to YouTube later. Every single topic will have chapters up there. You can go click through them really quickly. Go to the YouTube channel. The link's in the TikTok bio. And drop me a like and subscribe. We're trying to work towards 16,000 subs now. We went over 15 yesterday. It's been a pretty crazy subscriber week for me all of a sudden. So very exciting. Anyway, a little chopper there in the changeup. The changeup and the fastball, to me, look like the most effective pitches from Mathews. Especially that changeup. That changeup's intriguing. If you had to rank the top 3 catchers who you threw to in order, who would they be? In terms of my success, I always cite Tomas Nido. I thought he was one of the best ones. I threw really well to him. Chris Iannetta, Nick Hundley. Christian Vasquez, we had a good thing going. I love throwing to, obviously, Yachty, but it was a small sample. I threw pretty well to James McCann, I guess. Gary Sanchez. I mean, I really threw well to all these guys, but for some reason, I felt like me and Tomas Nido had some really good innings together, so I always rate him really high. Do you think Mathews should be more aggressive going after hitters? I think he's trying to be. I think he has a lack of command. I think because of how quick he moves through his delivery, I think he has a hard time getting his hand to the release point consistently. And I think that's the biggest thing. As a whippy lefty, similar to Mathews, what are some critiques you think in Mathews? I just think he's struggling with command a little bit. It seems like he gets underneath his slider at times and he doesn't get above it to be able to pull down. Like that's a bad slider there to Dane Myers. And this kind of shows my point. He gets underneath his slider. It still has the same metric, but that metric right there, if you're on top of the ball throwing downhill, would get below zone. Starting at this height, it would get below zone, but I think he's underneath this pitch. I don't think he gets on top of his slider very consistently. So to me, it's the fact that he gets underneath his ball, which actually helps his fastball play, but I think it hurts his breaking ball play. And so that's what you see here. And a combination of throwing hanging breaking balls and having too many walks and getting in too many bad accounts, too many bad counts, that's the red flags for Mathews. The green flags are that his fastball and changeup do seem to really play. And there's some swing and miss ability in there. So he's starting from a good spot, but he's got some big strides to take, particularly with his strike throwing and then figuring out, I think, his breaking balls and how he's going to, you know, make those a little bit better. If you're getting underneath a gyro slider, I actually recommend throwing a sweeper a little bit more. You can go ahead and get under a sweeper. I don't know if they'll try that with him or not, or what his spin capacity is, because I haven't seen any huge spin rates yet, but that would be my guesses. What are things about catchers that make it easier to throw to, or things you prefer? Probably just the care factor, the setup, the way they set things up. This is a called strike 3 confirmed. Togli is going to be wrong on that. It helps obviously a lot if they just really know your game, and so they can kind of help you through moments where you're not seeing the game clearly. So I think that's the big thing, you know. But most catchers in the big leagues are excellent. I mean, there's not too many that I can say anything bad about. So, you know, it's just that comfort factor. Not really anything complicated there. Another good changeup. The changeup is his best pitch, I think. Off of watching this outing, having not watched him much, he's got a pretty good fastball, but I think his changeup's his best pitch. Ooh, Aaron Miles is another one. Shit. Aaron Miles. Great dude. Feels like Quinn, if he makes it at all, will have the Snell type of arc, 5 and die, but with effectively wild occasional dominance. You got to clean up the walks. Without cleaning up the walks, he will not succeed in the big leagues. Eventually, that will be his downfall. I mean, you see a lot of non-competitive misses from Quinn. I mean, look at those last 2 pitches. I mean, you don't see, you know, consistent big leaguers with this type of miss all the time. And if throughout this whole outing, even a good outing, I mean, you see the misses. So that's the biggest thing. Throw the changeup more, Uncle Ted says, and I don't disagree. Clearly his most effective pitch.
Foul down the right field side.
I know DeGrom used to pitch really good with Nito, but DeGrom pitches really good in general. Yeah. He was getting some guys with that high slider. Yeah, but it's not a good thing. Here's another one right here. That's lucky right here. Those are lucky misses. That's not good pitching. That's a bug. It's not a feature, in my opinion. And that's it. He threw way too many pitches in 4 innings. 95 pitches in 4 innings. That's the other issue. He's not efficient at all. He doesn't have a preferred style of batted ball in play. I mean, maybe fly ball. Let's see what Quinn Mathews' numbers are so far. Yeah, fly ball. He's a fly ball profile. I just think the arm slot, for some reason, he gets underneath his slider. He needs to find a way to get on top of his slider better. I didn't mean to click that. Because the movement on it's fine. I don't have a problem with the shape, but he just doesn't get on top of it enough. And, well, let me see the spin rates on his pitches. I don't think he has got a great spin ability. No, his curveball's only at 24.61 and his slider's at 22.71. So, yeah, maybe sweeper. You don't need to have huge spin for sweeper. Maybe that could be a pitch for him because you're allowed to not get on top of that pitch and still throw it pretty well. But I think he's going to struggle mightily with his off-speed pitches if he can't control them and if he doesn't have good spin and he's getting underneath them a lot. Changeup's been excellent so far. 182 batting average, 182 slug. Hard to complain about that. That's a 190 WOBA. So he should definitely throw more changeups, and the fastball location. It's just about command. It's just about command. The minor league stats were actually kind of crazy coming in. You can go look at his minor league career. It's been a rocky road, and at times unbelievable, and at times not. This is the year I was talking about where he dominated. 2024 in 26 starts. He punched out 200 guys in the minors. You almost never see it. 200 strikeouts in the minors. Only 49 walks in 143 innings. At that point, he was probably one of the best pitching prospects in the minors. You know, huge strikeout rate, left-handed, only 3.1 walks per 9. That was totally doable. But then 2025 came, and even though he had a good year, he had walked 74 in 2025. So that's 6.7 walks per 9. So somewhere between 24 and 25, he lost the strike zone, and he's never really fully regained it. 2026 in the minors, he had a 3.82 and 21 starts in Memphis, but 5.5 walks per 9, and now in the small sample, 6 walks per 9 in the big leagues. So you just can't pitch like that. There's nobody that can pitch like that. So he has to get it down to at least 4 walks per 9, and then we can have a conversation. But I also share a little bit of concern about the shape of his breaking balls a little bit. I think he's a fastball breaking ball guy. I mean, a fastball changeup guy who just lacks command. There's some upside there. I wouldn't give up on him. It's great that they have him up now, but there's no way you can trust him at the moment either. So that's kind of where I'm at. Do you feel that his walks per 9 issue is a mental thing for him or a mechanical thing? I almost never blame mechanics on bad command, although sometimes it can certainly hinder you. It's a lot of times it's a mental thing. But for him, I think the speed in his delivery a little bit, he just has an inconsistency about where he's getting his hand. And then I think on top of that, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy over time. You're walking guys, and you just can't stop. And you're struggling with the mental component of the confidence to really let the ball eat in your areas. He also apparently still doesn't have a hit off a righty. I think his changeup and fastball are good. I think he's tough to hit. I think he's erratic and effectively wild, but I don't think you can possibly look at his profile and see sustained success coming if he doesn't clean up the strikes. Also, Shota, 10K is very unusual, but has a random high strikeout game I can never understand. Shota has great execution, great four-seam up, great split down, and with the right lineup, he can punch tickets. That's what he did yesterday. Yes. Do I think he can be consistent? I don't put it past him to get better. Of course, he can get better, and he's not that far away, but like he has one issue, basically. But right now, I would not expect him to be consistent the rest of the way. $200 strikeouts in the minors is wild. Yeah. Appreciate you, Uncle Ted. So here's a little bit of a misnomer with Snell. Snell has not pinpoint command. Nobody's comparing him to Greg Maddux. But I think Snell is actually a guy who has better command than most people think. And I think a big part of Snell's issue is that he doesn't allow a lot of balls in play early because he's pretty nasty. And he gives up a lot of foul balls. Like, he doesn't have a sinker pitch in his game. He doesn't have like a, I want you to hit this pitch in play pitch in his game. And I think what happens a lot with Snell is he gets ahead in the count. He goes for chase, chase, chase. I think this is the same problem that Cease used to have. So he gets a lot of chase, he gets a lot of strikeout, but a lot of at-bats lengthen. Sometimes the batters escape into walks, so that elevates his walk rate. So I think it's actually being almost too nasty that costs Blake Snell. I think he's got much better command than, say, a Quinn Mathews. And I think that's a little bit of a misnomer, but I understand it a little bit when people like to criticize him for lack of command. But I think it's a little better. I think Snell's got better command than Quinn Mathews. It's not even close, in my opinion. Snell's walks can suck. Yeah, I mean, sometimes. But I think a lot of it, again, he's just kind of nasty. Yeah, and this is the biggest knock on Nolan Ryan. Like, Nolan Ryan, for his career, as legendary as he wasn't always a winning player. You know, sometimes a lot of walks, and that hurts really bad. Miami got robbed yesterday. They did. McCullough got tossed. Everybody agreed he should have been mad. Kind of a crazy play. Can we get that play real quick? Let's see. Marlins, Phillies. I was watching, but then I was like half watching, and then I just was like seeing what the hell was going on. When did this happen? I think it was bowling. Yeah, here's the play in question. Bases loaded, 0-2 count. Sanoa down the line. Initially ruled foul. But this ball's 100% fair.
Because they think that's a fair ball.
I don't know how.
So McCullough comes out to argue.
Wow. Now where do you put the runner? Well, that's the
and they go ahead and they make some assumptions in terms of where they place the ball. This was a really tough one. This was a really unfortunate play. I don't know how he got this wrong right in front of him. It's kind of nutty that he got that wrong. That's crazy. Let me see something from yesterday's game. All right, here's the game last night. I don't know if you guys can hear this or not, but turn up the volume a little bit. So we'll watch this whole thing here.
They're going to take a look at this one.
Gabby, let's take a step back here. If this is a fair ball, this will be challenged.
Yes.
Yamamoto's a great example of pitcher has great command, but last season with a higher walk than usual. Agreed.
I feel like they would just put him at second if this is right.
But with the bases loaded, listen to me, does it clear the bases?
It looked.
And they ended up losing this by 1 run. So there's the... How you don't see this right in front of you is absolutely crazy. It's right on the line. You're literally staring at the line. Like, are you kidding me?
But with the bases loaded, listen to me, does it clear the bases?
It looked fair.
And because he blows it foul, Harper doesn't run hard after the ball. And that actually was a smart move by Harper in a way, because it kind of like, now they can't make any assumptions.
That's awful.
So probably all 3 runs would have scored because it's 2 outs and he's moving on the pitch.
Yes, he should.
So they can't assume that, so they immediately throw out McCullough because you're not allowed to argue this, but I get why Clayton was pissed off. And both announcers were kind of on it. The Marlins were going crazy, and even the Phillies announcers, Kruk was like, well, I can't blame him. They did mess that call up. So anyway, that's kind of what happened there. It was nuts. Not probably, literally 100% of the time, every run's going to score there. I agree. Now, I mean, you know, that's just common sense, but we don't always use common sense. I like this idea by Will right here. Just do it like soccer. Let them finish the play and then call it offsides. Crazy. How do you miss that? I mean, so bad. Safer to say fair because the challenge can always fix it. Sometimes they mess up. Sometimes they brain fart. And yeah, Kruk is a treasure. Kruk was outstanding last night. Totally goated. Just hilarious stuff that he says. He's so good. And I love it. Like last night they were talking about Harper as like a left on left at bat. They were giving all the negative stats on him recently or something, and he goes, it's still Bryce Harper. And then Harper came through and I was just like, that's why Kruk's the man. Kruk doesn't give one crap about some of these narratives. He's just like, this guy's a good player, and at some point he's going to figure it out. And I was like, I like it, Kruk. You're the man. He was standing right there and missed it in the midst of a playoff push. This was tough, guys. This was tough. Oh, it's crazy. All right, you guys are talking about a play in the Cardinal game, the end of the game last night. Let me go to that real quick. Now, a couple things in this game last night that were crazy. Strzelecki was absolutely grinding. Came in the 7th, pitched a good 7th, pitched a good 8th, got to 2 outs in the 9th. Cardinals were about to win this game. And Dane Myers goes nuclear to tie it with 2 outs in the 9th at the end of a doubleheader. You could tell the Cardinals were out of pitching here. So this was tough for the Cardinals. Great for the Reds, who were desperate to stay in it. Myers with a huge home run. They end up taking the lead later. Let's see what they were talking about here with the play with Joshua Baez. Is this the play?
1-2. Strike him.
Yeah, this play. So, man, I've been on the mound for a lot of these. You throw a fastball running in on a hitter that's diving. They probably wouldn't have gotten hit if they didn't try to basically swing at it. But most of the time, they get the benefit of the doubt on this and they go to first. This is one time where they rule a swing on the play and he has to stay in there. So Marmol got ejected for this, huh? Let's see the side angle. I mean, I kind of agree with the umpires here. I think this is a swing. I know it sucks. I know he got hit in the hand here. But I think this is... What do you guys think? What do you guys have on that? I think that's a swing. I think it's a good call. Personally. And then, Pagan ends up ending the game there. So that was interesting. Great win for the Reds. They really needed that. They're trying to hang in there a little bit. But I don't know. Tough one there. Ollie got ejected when he came out and argued the win check swing. There's a win check swing. You don't think he went around? He totally went around. How could you say, Uncle Ted, this isn't going around for you? Right there? That's not going around? I mean, the bat is pointing towards shortstop. Yeah. All right, let's look at the Mason Wynn one that he gets ejected on. Let's see where that is. It's got to be the last pitch. Ooh, I don't know. This one's close. Let's see it. God, that's close, guys. I mean, this could go either way. In full time, to me, doesn't look like a swing, but if you stop motion it, you can see that the bat turns a little bit there. This is about as close as it gets because he's out in front, but he kind of holds up. What do you guys think about this? I think he went, but it's damn close. And then to the naked eye, he doesn't look like he goes to me. That's close. What do you guys think? They got that one right. Nah, didn't go. I don't think so. Swing. I mean, everybody's disagreeing. That's how close this one was. That one was really close. Slow motion looks like went. I think he did as well. I can't wait for a better definition of check swing. Mason Wynn's been struggling bad this year at the plate. I would agree with that totally. Hold on, I got a picture here. The definition of a swing is because the umpire said so. That's true. They should do something better than that. I'll watch Caminiti if you want. I don't think we have much else to really look at. The pitcher always thinks he goes, no wonder. Yeah, I'll admit I'm a little biased on that, but in slow-mo, it looks like he went. In real time, I don't think he went. So, I guess if you're the first base ump, you're going off of the full speed. That was really close, guys. Really close. Adam, when will the Yankees bats wake up? When Bellinger and Judge get healthy, honestly. Minors equals no swing. Majors equals swing. Yeah, that minors check swing thing is crazy. We watched PCA. We already watched Benge's outfield assists. Haven't watched Max Clark yet. I'm curious to maybe watch him a little bit. I do want to watch this Caminiti. We've had a good request for Caminiti. Let's see what day that was, because he should pop up on the coffee cups. Damn. When did he last pitch? He is not coming up on the coffee cups. The 14 strikeout games a while back. That's July 31st. Sure. Okay. July 31st, Rome, A-ball. This is a ways back, so this is a little bit of a, we don't usually go this far back. But well, we can do it. July 31st. This would have been single A. I don't know if it's low A or high A yet. This could be it. Plays. Yeah, so this is going to be the 14 strikeout game. Caminiti, this is the top pitching prospect now that J.R. Ritchie has graduated for the Braves. So we'll just go through his 14 strikeout pitches real quick and get a sense of this young man. Fastball, strikeout looking. I thought this guy was going to get traded for Scooble. Turns out he did not. So still a property of the Braves. So there's one strikeout. Here's another strikeout on a breaking ball. Maxton Martin. Nice pitch there. I hate this camera angle. And then Luke Hansen, so strikes the side in the first. In the minor leagues, if you're going to strike 14, you better get started early because they don't usually let you stay in very often. Another breaking ball there. It looks like a slurve or a slider of some sort or a sweeper of some sort. Second inning, here's Figueroa. So this is strikeout number 4. See ya later. I think he would have got traded for DeGrom if he didn't block it. Yeah, that makes sense. So he'd be a Ranger. Good call. This is a hell of a game, by the way. Not just the strikeouts. Overall, great game. Ground out on a breaking ball there. He looks very athletic. I'm trying to think athletically who he reminds me of. All right, so only one punch out in the second. Third inning, he's going to get 3 more. World-class Braves mini mullet. So this is a drop third strike? Is that what happens here? Oh, yeah, they throw him out. Little breaking ball in the dirt again. So that's 1. Here's Cal Stark. These minor league names are amazing. Cal Stark, you're about to punch. Heater up. It's got nice long arms. Lefty, like a 3/4 action. Here's Chandler Pollard. He's going to punch out. Yeah, if you want one of these hats, baseballandcoffee.com, baseballandcoffee.com. I have some different colors on there. All right, there's a strikeout, and then he's going to get 3 more strikeouts in the next inning. So he punches the side 3 of the first 4 innings of this game. Breaking ball there. Here's another Maxton Martin. He did get a number of lefties. So they did him a little bit of a favor with the lineup construction here, but still. And then here's another strikeout of Glider Figueroa. 14 punches in the minors is crazy. Again, you just don't get the opportunity. Usually like 9 or 10 is about it. So all slider break strikeouts there. 5th inning. No strikeouts in the 5th. Okay. Let's see how he got his outs here in the 5th. Fly out to center. Another fly out coming here. Haven't seen a changeup yet out of Caminiti. Mostly fastball and breaking ball is what I've been seeing. Nice little spinorama play there. So a 1-2-3, what is that, 5th inning? And then 6th inning, he's going to get back and punch out the side again. Cam Stark. Fastball up. See ya. Next up, Chandler Pollard. Fastball up. See you later. I don't know. He kind of has a Josh Hader body. I wouldn't say it's the same delivery by any means, but that's what I'm looking at a little bit here. That might have been a changeup. That might have been a breaking ball. Might have been a changeup. Hard to tell from this camera angle. Hate these minor league camera angles. Oh, that's a changeup. There we go. So we got one on a changeup. We've been waiting on that to punch the side there. And then he had one more strikeout here. I think this is number 14. Break ball in the dirt. And yeah, that's it. All right. What's his deal, though? What is his deal? Top 30 by team, Atlanta Braves, Caminiti. Let's see what they're talking about. 20 years old, 6'2", 195, 60 fastball, 55 slider, 55 changeup. We didn't see a lot of changeups there. We saw the one. But above average grades on everything. Control at 50. Exciting two-way player. Looked like he might be a top pick in 25. Reclassified to become one of the youngest guys in the 24 draft. He was drafted 24th overall. Signed for 3.56. Sits 93, 94. That's what we were seeing there with good carry. It's got some deception, slight cross body, 2 breaking balls, but now he just has the low 80s slider and a mid-80s changeup. So 4-seam fastball with some ride, mid-80s changeup, low 80s slider. So kind of a 3-pitch guy. Stats this year for Caminiti between A and AA. 20 starts, 20 games, 19 starts, 99 strikeouts and 91 and 2/3. Does have 43 walks though, so a bit too many walks here in the early going, although they do give him a 50 grade on command. So anyway, that's a quick look at Caminiti. Adam, do you think getting promoted from AA to the majors makes sense? Yeah, in some cases. I mean, AAA, at least in my day, AAA was a little bit more of a veteran, crowded, crafty type place. AA had like plenty of major league talent in it, so it just depends. I mean, I know there's some teams that have a AAA affiliate that they don't want to send their pitchers to, like some PCL places. So sometimes it makes sense, but no doubt it's a big jump, and you've probably never played with guys like 5, 6, 7 years older than you if you've never been to AAA. So it's a weird place. Ayo, have you heard something about Shohei Ohtani, a Japanese high school pitcher who was the best player this year at the Koshin? There are rumors about the Yankees offering him $3 million as an international free agent. No, but what's his name? Shohei Ohtani? This is a podcast talking about the Koshin, so that's not it. There's a lot of weird YouTube stuff where it's like you don't really get to watch them do anything. Show me some highlights. He's only 20. What are they doing? They're just showing me pictures here? All right, they're not showing us anything here. Still struggling to find any highlights of this human. These are all just pictures. These are all just pictures. I don't think we're going to find him. There's some videos in the X. I don't have Twitter, so...
143キロの球速が一人の福岡少年を故郷から遠く離れた横浜へ向かわせました。中学時代はあの日クラウンドで目にした光景こそが彼の人生の進路を変えた大きなきっかけだったのかもしれません。
Yeah, I don't know about him yet. I mean, we'll find out over time. 20 years old. I mean, obviously it's pretty cool to get scouted, and then you have to make the decision whether you're going to stay in Japan or whether you're going to come straight to America. I'm still looking for video, but I'm not seeing squat. That's tough. Yasmu Cosmopolitan might have some videos on Twitter. I remember hearing about him the other day. Yeah, I'm not seeing him right now. More hidden than Giannis Greek draft videos. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, did you see that? The link to my own stream. He's AI generated. All right. Adam, 1-100. How worried should I be about Max Fried? I'd be 100 worried. He's had the same injury twice. He's got basically inflammation and a bone bruise. And what's happening, I think, because I've seen this with many pitchers, on your extension, when you're coming down really hard on your extension, sometimes these two bones will bang on the back side of your elbow. And, you know, if it's a little inflammation, a little cortisone, whatever, you take care of it, no problem, happens to everybody. But when it gets pretty bad and the bone gets pissed off and becomes an actual bone bruise, it becomes a problem, right? So he's on the IL twice now. And it seems to me like he can get healthy throwing mid-speed, you know, but as soon as he's going full tilt in a big league game, we seem to have a little bit of trouble right now. So I think the only thing that's going to help him is a long period of rest, which he doesn't have time to do right now if he wants to contribute to the postseason. So I think Max is not going to pitch again this year. I could be wrong about that. I know he'll do everything he can to try to get back, but I think he's probably not going to pitch again this year. And then the hope is that they do some sort of stem cell PRP thing in the offseason to try to calm that down and see if they can't. What I would be doing is tons of like fully elbow extended isometrics to try to really armor up my brain's response to cushioning that area. I know that's a little bit of a crazy thing to talk about, but I did that quite a bit on my own to help my extension, especially with the ligament and the tendon health and all that type of stuff. But yeah, we could be headed to a bad outcome here if he doesn't get it fixed. More damage could take place, and it wouldn't surprise me if Tommy John would be on the table. So yeah, I'd be worried about him. I'd be worried about him also just because he was a piece that puts the Yankees over the edge from the pitching department. You know, Schlittler, Cole, Fried is crazy. Now it's less crazy. So I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough. Yeah, man. When the bones get pissed off, not good. I love Will Warren. Will Warren, I like him way more than Yankee fans probably like him. But, I mean, Weathers has been out pitching him. So now that Rodon's back, we'll see what happens. I mean, they'll both stay in the rotation for the rest of the way. But then in the playoffs, who goes to the bullpen? I guess we'll see. But I'm definitely worried about Fried. I don't foresee Fried pitching the rest of this year. And I don't know that, but I'm worried about him because to have the same injury twice and with time ticking down, you would think they'd be a little more conservative the second time, and I think they were pretty conservative the first time. So yeah, I'm worried about it. Definitely worried about it. Do you have any info or knowledge on the Ketel situation? No, I tried to find out some stuff yesterday, and the scary part is the people that I talk to that you think would know don't know. So it's a scary situation a little bit for Ketel Marte and the Diamondbacks. Maybe we'll get more information on that. Crazy. They're in a playoff race. You can't be just like bouncing from your team right now. So I hope that there's a legitimate reason he wasn't there. But this is clearly a player that they're gonna need if they're gonna try to chase one of those last spots. And you know, he's had a good year. He's hitting 760 OPS. Not his best year ever, but he's still an above average player. You know, good player, switch hitter. Literally didn't show up to the game yesterday, and we don't have all the information on that yet. But I'm sure more reporting will come out. So, pretty nuts, man. Yeah, Torey Lovello. I actually have that in the Discord. Torey Lovello getting a little sad last night, which was pretty crazy. Hold on. Oh, so here's some Ota stuff. We'll look at him in a second, but I want to go look at that Torey Lovello here.
So, I want to keep that private, though.
You seem a little emotional.
I mean, you could see him. He's sad. So I think when you're a great manager like Torey is, you really care about your guys. So if something's going on, it's going to affect you a little bit.
He is fine. I want you guys to know that.
Yeah, we're not speculating. I'm just saying I don't know what's going on, but based off of the fact that nobody knows what's going on and the emotion in Torey's face there, it makes me a little worried for sure about him. All right, let's go back down to where we were at before. Looks like, so he did go back. Hold on, let me check trade rumors. Nothing recent on here, but I'll check on Google. All we know is he's dealing with a personal issue, trying to figure that out. Didn't show up today, put on the restricted list. We care a lot for Ketel. That's what comes across, is that they care for him a lot. You guys putting it in the Discord, maybe? This one right here. Ketel Marte is returning to Arizona an MRI on his knee, according to a source. So that's weird. Somewhere between flying in to Boston 2 nights ago and then not showing up to the field yesterday. Now apparently it's a knee thing, not a personal thing. There's a lot of confusion, so we're going to have to wait for the now they tell us information. Anyway, we're still watching this high school guy. Ooh, that was a sinker. That was nasty. So kind of interesting. It's a cover-up for sure. I mean, something feels off. Don't you guys think something feels off? John Bay is reporting the MRI, and they have MLB agreement rights, so they're not making shit up. No, they're not making shit up, but this doesn't explain why he didn't show up yesterday to the field. You show up to the field even when you're hurt. You go talk about your injury with your team, so it's definitely a little weird. Sources, Ketel Marte remains in Boston dealing with personal situation. He and his family are fine. Marte has been in communication with Diamondbacks through appropriate channels. So honestly, we don't know shit. We don't know shit. Something sounds fishy to me. Something sounds fishy to me. All right, also something I just noticed in the Discord. Trey Mancini has announced his retirement after 8 years. One of the great dudes in the game, obviously went through the cancer. One of the great dudes in the game, made a comeback, made a couple of comebacks. Faced him a lot when he was at the Orioles. Very well-respected guy around the league. So definitely thought that should be mentioned. Trey Mancini. What's the polls today? Would you have pitched to PCA last night in the 10th? No, I would have walked him. If Logan Henderson was the sticking point to get Scooble, would you have? I would have, and I said that yesterday, and it's mostly not because I don't like Logan Henderson. It's mostly just to keep Scooble away from the Dodgers. That would have been my motivation in that one. All right, what else we got here? Is Story back today? I think he's coming back pretty soon, right? We have already gone over Bayo a few times. He's pitched great out of the pen. It's hard to understand it, but it does seem like his velocity's been a little better out of the pen. He dropped that curveball he was trying to force in there earlier, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep doing it, you know? Yeah, we just don't know right now. That's the facts. We just don't know. He didn't get to 10 years. That sucks. Logan Henderson's great. I would have traded him just to avoid Scooble going to the Dodgers. That's just me. I'm a little aggressive. I know that in terms of value, you're going to lose that trade every time, giving up on a guy like Logan Henderson, so I get it. But, yeah, Story playing for the Woo Sox. He should be back soon, right? Can't wait to see Roman back, too, and what he looks like. Colt Emerson's wrist injury explains the struggles. It definitely a factor. Definitely a factor. Hard to say how much, though, and that's the problem with playing hurt. Can't erase your numbers. I did this a few times in my career, try to play through some shit, especially in the minors, ended up having horrible numbers. Then you're like, well, I was hurt. And they're like, well, your numbers are fucking in permanent ink. So don't play hurt. That's the moral of the story, unless you're in a pennant race and you're that dude and your money's guaranteed. But you can't erase your numbers. You know what I'm saying? Just can't. Roman's starting rehab today. That's a good sign. I've seen 3 different reports on Marte. No one knows what's happening. What's up with Jake Bennett? His command hasn't been quite as good the last few games. Still love Jake Bennett, one of my favorite young guys in the game. Have you checked in on Spencer Miles? Many times. He's been awesome. Curious what they do with him next year, whether he gets to be a starter or whether he continues in this role. This is a good question. What the fuck did happen to Tristan Casas? He just keeps having setback after setback. I don't know what's going on. Why wouldn't you tell your team when you're hurt? Legit. So, honestly, when you first get called up to the big leagues, it's really hard sometimes because you've waited your whole life to get there and you're dying to play and you're dying to show what you can do. And the last thing you want to do is go to the big leagues and be like, hey, man, I'm hurt. This is my first trip through the big leagues. I've told this story a few times. In my major league debut, my shoulder hurt the entire time. I was still throwing 95, So it was working. I could pitch, I could compete, but I was going back to the dugout popping more Advil and Tylenol every half inning. And it was just a sad place to be. It's not where I wanted to be when I first got to the big leagues. And so sometimes you do dumb shit when you're a kid. You've been waiting your whole life to get to some place. You get there. Last thing you want to do is go on the IL. You think, oh, they're going to look down on me if I say I'm hurt. But again, looking back on it from, from a place of much better perspective, you should never do that. You should always say you're hurt because, again, you can't erase your numbers. And when you're hurt, and you got to admit it. Now, I think there's a difference between being, in a little bit of discomfort and injured, and that comes into play down the stretch. You have to weigh that out, but it's hard. Sometimes as a rookie, your head's not in the right place. You don't have the right perspective. So, did your manager or pitching coach know you were popping painkillers? Everybody's popping painkillers in the big leagues. I didn't do it a lot. Towards the end of my career, I actually was able to take nothing and be really healthy, but don't get it twisted. Everybody's popping pills like crazy. It's insane. It's not okay. Yeah, we watched Edwin earlier. It's been tough lately, getting unlucky and pitching bad. We watched Zephyr John his first game. He's pretty nasty. Doesn't have great command, but he's pretty nasty. 100%. I did this my first year in the minors after signing. Being upfront is what I should have done. 100%. You can't put your best foot forward if you're not healthy. The game's hard enough to play well when you're healthy. But when you're young, it's hard. You feel these weird pressures. You put these weird pressures on yourself and you make decisions. You make bad decisions. You know? D-backs activating Justin Martinez is huge. He's filthy if he's really healthy. That'll be a big difference. Do you think Hedrick's season is a fluke or actually an elite bullpen arm now? I think it's partially a fluke, but also I give him credit for having the year he's having. This is probably his career year right now. I think he's a very solid piece. But for him to have a low 1 ERA for a season, there's always a little bit of flukiness built into that. He's not striking out 40% of batters. You know what I mean? Like, it's good, but he's also getting lucky. So he's getting both. He's getting the opposite of Edwin. Edwin's being bad and getting unlucky. Hedrick's being really good and getting lucky. So, you want to watch Cedanne's 3 doubles in a row? All right. Red Sox, they just beat the crap out of somebody yesterday, didn't they? Oh, yeah, the Diamondbacks. What am I talking about? They just beat the piss out of the Diamondbacks yesterday. Red Sox played a nice game at home. We talked about, the Bayo factor. Somehow, after the opener, this guy's incredible. Just does it every time. But yeah, we'll watch a couple swings from this game. Rafaela with 3 doubles in his last 3 at-bats. Let's watch his last 3 at-bats.
Coming to Dana-Farber, and, especially at my age.
And in-play runs here on the fastball. Inside out, swing down the line. So that's the first double. Inside out swing. All right, second one is a first pitch slider. Man, Zach Littell really is just getting crushed this year, huh? That slider did nothing. This is right down the middle with 0 movement. Look at the movement on this pitch. Anybody could hit this pitch, honestly.
In this moment and be able to get to be a mom to my...
So that ball's crushed off the monster. That's his second double. And then he's going to double again here off Littell. I mean, 0 movement, man. 0. Do I see continued success from Parker Messick long-term? I mean, he's got a great changeup, Parker Messick. So I think he's probably a pretty good piece. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how he evolves and how he can continue to improve and adjust as the league adjusts to him coming next year. Thanks for that. All right, so he gets himself to a 3-1 count this time versus Littell, and it's going to be a slider again. I mean, almost identical pitch to the last one. Very little movement, same location off the monster on the swing. So he really benefited from some absolute meatballs right here from Littell. Littell just kind of lost his stuff, man. He can throw strikes, he's got some action, but that did not go well for him this year. So those were Cedanne's 3 doubles. Durbin, who's been incredible. Let's watch him. He got a walk the first at-bat and then 3 singles. Here's the first one. Goes with it. Tremendous swing on. You know, this was actually great. Watch him pull a fastball foul here. you know, nukes one foul, so they go to the changeup. Makes sense, but Durbin's thinking along here, stays on this changeup and goes to right field. This is great hitting. If you're trying to pull that pitch, you're going to roll it over every time. He goes with it, base hit, great hitting. Then next at bat off Littell, first pitch fastball, clobbered to left, top spin hit. And then next at bat versus Littell, 0-2 split, infield hit. So Durbin's been amazing in the second half. One of the reasons why the Red Sox are back in it. He's been great. And yeah, Rushman had a couple hits yesterday. Red Sox rolled the Diamondbacks pretty good on a very tough day for the Diamondbacks overall with this whole Marte situation and everything that we don't really know what to make of. Yeah, that's what they watch. That is what they watch. All right, I think I might be done. We could talk about Pfaadt for a second. Pfaadt is on fire, actually. He's been similar to Cameron, Noah Cameron in the for the Royals. Pfaadt's been crazy in terms of his turnaround. He's now down to a 3.11 ERA on the season. He's got way less strikeouts than innings pitched, but let's just check out the run he's been on the game log. So he was at a 5.92 ERA following this one inning outing because he had been demoted to the bullpen on May 3rd. Then he goes to the minors. They say, you need to go to the minors, bruh. Since then, these are Brandon Pfaadt's outings since June 30th. June 30th, 5 1/3 and 1 versus the Giants. July 6th, 5-0 versus the Padres. July 11th, 5.1 and 2 versus the Dodgers. July 18th, 5.1 and 2 versus the Cardinals. Also versus the Cardinals on the 23rd, 6 innings and 2 runs. Then the Pirates, 7-0 on the 28th. Then we get into August, 6 2/3 and 0, 7-0 versus the Dodgers, and then 7-0 versus the Braves. Maybe we should watch that start from the 14th as our final thing this year for today. So that's 4 consecutive starts, no runs. So now he's at, what's his scoreless streak at? Plus maybe he ended this one. It's at minimum 27 2/3. Minimum 27 2/3 scoreless streak for Brandon Pfaadt. I don't know what he changed. I haven't been paying attention, but he's been damn good these last couple of outings. So when was this last game against the Braves? 8-14 versus the Braves. Let's watch that one, and then we'll call it. Braves, Diamondbacks, Brandon Pfaadt. 87 pitches, 7 strikeouts. Here we go. Going mainly to 4-seam changeup. Okay. 33 scoreless innings, I believe, is the actual number. There's an out on a cutter to Drake Baldwin. Not an out because Marte dropped it. Here is Acuna. Sinker. Swings over the top. Well, let's just watch him and see what we got. Sweeper, that was his big thing before, was sinker sweeper. So let's see if there's any usage, any real usage shifts. 4-seam. Here comes changeup. Ooh, nice right on right changeup to get Acuna. Nice pitch here. Little changeup glove side. Nice pitch there, good execution. Next up, Matt Olson. Changeup down. Four-seam up, swing it through. Good pitch there. Change up again. This is more change up than I'm used to seeing from him. Good pitch there, a little topper. There's Nolan. He'll take the one out. And now Michael Harris. Change up. Change up. So I am seeing more change ups already. Although we'll check the numbers on that. Fastball fouled back, and then curveball. Kid's on fire. Pretty hard to go from a 5.9 mid-season to almost under a 3. And you're not even into September yet. All right, second inning. Struck out Harris with that curveball. Here is Ozzy's. Backdoor curveball. Here's a changeup. He's got really good run on his changeup. Nice play there. Here's a cutter to Dubon. Middle line out right at the center fielder.
When we find something out, we'll pass it along to you.
Torrey looking stressed. Now Yastrzemski. Changeups have been way up last 3-4 starts. Okay. Seems like a thing. Really appreciate everybody hanging with me the last couple days. The stream's gotten really fun. We've had huge turnouts on both channels. You guys have been great, man.
He's not even in the lineup tonight. That bounced weird off the mound.
There's an out on a 4-seam.
When he wakes up from nap time, it's like, what do you want to do, buddy? You want to
Here is Austin Riley. Yeah, I'm not seeing nearly as much sweeper. That used to be a big part of his game. Oh, hi, Will Smith in the booth. Cutter middle, tap to Perdomo. First out of the third. Looks like he's cutting some of those 4-seams too. 100%. I noticed that too. That first 4-seam with major cuts. So I'll take a look at all of that in a minute. Change up away. So he's learning how to pitch. Well, he's making an evolution. I think he knew how to pitch in one style. He's learning how to pitch a new style, Jody. Executing the 4s as well. Here's a curveball in dirt. Nice pitch. Nice pitch. Foul territory reporting Marte heading to Arizona on MRI for his knee. Okay, so that's clearly something, but I'm still wondering what it all means, right? There's a sweeper, and here's a curveball. Ground ball 4-3. Appreciate you. Would love to do some Met stuff, but I'm having a great time. Also, Julio Franco. Also doing the social media and the real media and the YouTube and the broadcasting. I'm having a blast. You can tell by my side quests. Oh, Nolan with the no panic drill throws out Acuna, so gets an out with a sweeper there. Now we're in the 4th. One out in the 4th here. Matt Olson definitely cutting that 4-seam a little bit, or at least taking some of the tail out of it. Change up there. That's a good spot up and in. Command's looking good as well. Obviously, that's usually a part of it when you get on a run. And there's that spike curveball. Also helps when you get this type of defense. Holy shit, nice play by Waldschmidt. I guess Waldschmidt happened there. How did he get to this ball? This ball slicing away from him? This is not easy to do, guys. Comes in and around. Nice play. All right, next up, Michael Harris. Change up, I would guess. Change up, swing and miss. Nope, change up, 4-seam. Up in target. Yep, jams him out to left. That's going to be a hit, though. I don't have another ESPN game coming up. I got 3 NBC games coming up the 2nd week and the 3rd week of September. I'm on Yes Network Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend for Yankees Jays. Pre and post, but no booth games until those NBC games. ESPN's package is just ending now. I think their 30 games is up. Did about 10 of them, so that was a great opportunity, but I don't think there's any more ESPN games coming up unless I'm just wrong about that. Heater above zone, good location there. Gets the fly out to end the 4th. Here comes the 5th. Ryan Waldschmidt, pretty good. If you can make that play, that's a nice play, sir. Definitely using the curveball as a put-away pitch as well, especially to lefties. I'm seeing that. So a lot of fastball change-up, a little bit of cutter in the mid-count, early to mid-count. But definitely the change-up with 2 strikes has become a thing. Here's a right-on-right change-up with 2 strikes to Dubon. Going to get a fly out there. I'm not sure who's on Yes. I'm not sure who's on Yes this weekend with me, whether it's Bob or Chris or Justin. I'm not really sure. I think Dellin might be on with me because I think Todd is at Little League World Series this week. Another out on a changeup here to Yastrzemski. Yes, I will definitely be doing more TV next season. I would like to try actual play-by-play. I see you guys talking about Michael K. Because Michael K is the play-by-play side. I would like to try play-by-play with like maybe a hitter analyst with me. I think that would be really fun. And you don't see a lot of former players get to try play-by-play. That used to be a much bigger thing back in the day. So I'd love to try that. Anyway, here's a curveball to Riley for put away. Nice pitch there. So it looks like it's less sweeper, more 4-seam, more changeup, more curveball. I'll go check the numbers on that after that.
Our guy just got us out of this.
That first fastball away, and it's the only one to righty definitely cutting the fastball. Agreed. There's an out on a sinker, and that probably allowed him to throw sinker, because if you're not cutting your fastball, you probably don't have as good of a seam shift sinker. So that was probably part of it too. Ron Darling tried that once, and it was rough. All right, all right. Ground ball rate up a lot. Yeah, probably more sinkers and more changeups changes the ground ball rate a lot. I don't know if this is true. I think they have a good booth. I wouldn't put them in the top 5, though. For me, the top 5 booths got to be the Mets, the Padres. I would say the Giants is really, really good. I like the Cubs a lot. Boog and Deshays. And I'm probably forgetting somebody else, but that's a good one. Yeah, I talked about Max earlier. I feel like he's not going to come back this year. That's just my gut feeling, but I don't know for sure. Brewers, Phillies getting some votes in here. I wouldn't mind being that guy. He gets paid really well, except that now he's screwed with his DUI, so I won't be a DUI, I'll tell you that. You think the Cubs booth sucks? I think it's pretty good. I like Boog and Jim Deshays a lot. Yeah, Oral's great. Oral's great. I've come around on Joe Davis over the years, too. You know who's pretty good, too, is Cleveland. They get very into it. Remy and Don were the OG best on Nesson. Nesson still does a great job. I like Dave. And I love when X on there, although he hasn't been on as much. I think Lou Merloni's pretty good, too. Kevin Brown, Ben McDonald, they're solid. I mean, there's some good ones out there. There's a 4-seam up to Ronald. So you see the vibes with Pfaadt right here. A lot of change-ups. I don't like the D-backs booth either. Don't like it at all. Alt stream would be fun. Kuiper, Singleton, and Martinez are the only former players to do play-by-play recently. Yeah, probably recently. There was a lot back in the day. White Sox have always been good. I liked it more with Benetti. Although I will say Tigers now with Benetti and Dirks is great. I just started watching this the other day. I haven't gotten through about it yet. Haven't gotten through that yet. Padres announcers are great in my opinion. So this is another out on a changeup here to Olsen. Best home run calls? I don't know. That's a tough one. I actually like Drew Goodman's. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. I always thought that's pretty good. I don't mind the clear the deck cannonball coming in Pittsburgh. For some reason, I like that. I love Dallas Braden as well. I like Jenny too. So there's a lot of good ones. Obviously, John Sterling's the OG radio voice of the Yankees. He's the man too, but you know, it's tough. Padres' best home run calls. He gets so fired up, man. Don's the man. Holy Sheets. The Hawk, of course, the old school. You can put it on the board. Yes. Love that one.
And now having a career year.
Big Fly is okay, just okay to me. It's a big fly, but Ohtani-san makes it cool. Yeah, Don's always electric. All right, here we go. Last pitch of Pfaadt. Curveball in the dirt.
2-2 pitch.
Would you ever commit to a full-time commentator gig or prefer the guest role? I would commit to it. I would like to do Yankees or Mets home games with select road games. This is my ideal situation. Still doing national games for NBC, ESPN. That would be ideal. And then I would like to do booth for Yes or for SNY. I mean, obviously, I know that those guys aren't going anywhere anytime soon, but this is ideal. Pie in the sky. Home games, select road games. So it's like if I'm a Mets broadcaster, it's like Phillies, Braves, maybe go to LA or go to Chicago. If it's the Yankees, it's like Red Sox, Toronto, maybe go to LA or Chicago, something like that. That would be fire. But obviously, those guys are there and they're not going anywhere. But that's pie in the sky. That's pie in the sky. So, anyway, let's go back to Brandon Pfaadt's usage here because I'm curious. Something has changed. Something went different this year in terms of his usage here. Let's go by game. All right, a lot of mumbo. Actually, let's go by month. Month will be a little smoother. All right, so you can see it here clear as day. The changeup started out this year as a very low usage pitch. Started out at 11% at the very beginning, but really 7% down here in May. And now it is up to a 28.5% pitch come August. The four-seam fastball started low. He was actually throwing more sinkers at the beginning. Four-seam started low. Now that's become his high usage pitch. And let me reset the zoom. And now that's up to 34%. So fastball changeup way outpacing everything. He's completely dropped the sinker usage down to 9.3%. And the cutter usage is at 6%, but that's always been low. The sweeper has been the other thing. The sweeper, he's kind of slowly lowered the usage. But the biggest difference is just the uptick in curveball usage. I also want to, so the biggest thing is the four-seam changeup and curveball usage are now the top three. He's lowered the sweeper percentage, sinker percentage, and cutter percentage. So it's really just more four-seams and changeups. Let's see if there's anything with movement on the fastball. Induced vertical break. Pitches, hold on. Four-seam fastball. Induced vertical break has come down a touch since he's gotten good. What about horizontal break? -6, -7, -4, -7. Not a whole. So I guess his shapes kind of stayed the same. But the biggest thing is just upping the changeup usage, I guess. Yeah, even changeup shapes stay the same. So yeah, just more four-seamers and changeups. Oh my God, you can't see the freaking screen this whole time. God damn it. That's unbelievable. All right, I'm sorry. I'll just go back and show you real quick. Pitch percentage. This is the changeup usage over the course of the year. This grade right here. He's not cutting it more. He's not cutting it more. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry, you guys. They saw it the whole time on TikTok. I had it covered on YouTube. Anyway, here's all the pitches by month. And the biggest thing is the changeup jump up. Changeup was low. It was his least used pitch in the first 2 months. Then it moved up to fourth most used, third most used. Now it's second most used. So there you go. There's the answer. Sorry about that. But anyway, that's what happened with Pfaadt. He upped the changeup usage and everything has become really, really good. And he's not doing it with strikeouts. He's doing it with really quality levels of contact against him. He's working deep in the games. He's on a 33-inning scoreless streak. So anyway, that's going to be it for the stream today. Let's do probables right now. And then we will hop on to tomorrow's stream after that. Sorry about that. This has been a good stream, and I totally botched it there at the end. All right, here are the games for today. Yankees at Orioles, the return of Carlos Rodon. He's facing Shane Baz. They are in Camden Yards. Let's see how Carlos looks. He's the other one who's been hurt, healthy, along with Fried. Tigers, Pirates, Montero, and Ashcraft coming off of that 85-pitch complete game his last time. Giants, Guardians, Wisenhunt, Foster Griffin. Cardinals, Reds, Kyle Lehew's been very good lately, and Andrew Abbott. Blue Jays, Rays, Soriano. Hey, Blue Jays are only a half game out. Let's see how they look in this series at the Trop. The Trop's been a devastating place for the Blue Jays over the years, and they get Nick Martinez today. Marlins, Phillies, Cade Gibson, Zach Wheeler. He's looking for a little bit of a bounce back. Diamondbacks, Red Sox, Merrill Kelly, Rangers, Suarez. We'll see if get any more Ketel Marte news today. Padres, Mets, Robbie Ray, Zach Thornton. I think the Mets are going to keep playing good ball right now. They got a good thing going. A's, Royals, Perkins, TBA. Braves, Twins, Tyler Mahle, who's been incredible with the Braves, kind of out of nowhere, and Zebby Matthews. Mariners, Brewers, Bryce Miller, Kyle Harrison. That's a good matchup. Nationals, Rangers, Jackson Kent, Cal Quantrill. White Sox, Cubbies, TBA, and Gausman. He's looking for his first good start with the Cubbies. Angels, Astros, Klassen, who we watched recently, and Christian Javier. Dodgers, Rockies, to wrap it up, Lauer and Feltner. Dodgers looking to stay fat. This is some interesting info here from AO real quick before I say goodbye. He's up to 12% changeup righty-righty, but he wasn't throwing them at all. So that's the big thing. He started using his changeup to righties as well, and some of his numbers turned around. And we're talking about Brandon Pfaadt there. So this will be great. Should be some good games coming up. Feels like if the Jays get swept out of the wild card hunt this weekend, I don't know. Maybe they'll step up big in the Trop for the first time in a while. We'll see. All right, thanks for all the love today. Appreciate everybody on the stream on both channels. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Watch the vlog. Join the Discord. All that good stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow unless I make a tea time. But more than likely, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Appreciate you guys. And hopefully we get some good baseball to talk about tomorrow. Have a great day. Adios.